Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MGTOW Academy YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. And for those of you who are subscribed a little bit to my channel before, thank you and welcome back. So, today is November 19th, 2017, which means it's International Men's Day. That's right. Despite the current world that we live in, there is actually a day that is actually dedicated to us. Not entirely dedicated, of course, but I guess it's a day in recognition of what we have accomplished, so to speak. So I'm just going to be waiting for everybody to come in right here. I'm going to go ahead and monitor this on my iPad. Let's see if I can pull up the live chat right here. Hello, NYC MGTOW. How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. Now that we actually have people, coming on, I think it'd be nice to go ahead and cover some articles that I have in mind. 2 viewers, 1 viewer. Let's see. How many people do we have watching right now? I know NYC MGTOW is here. Guess we're gonna have to keep waiting for other people to come on. It is. I know it's Sunday evening, so a lot of people are gonna have work tomorrow. But still, let's go ahead and take a look at some stuff. Okay, I'm trying to find this article. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of it before, but I believe this is Texas senator, something. It's a politician in Texas, and she wants to make masturbation, like she wants to fine men who masturbate. And I actually saw this on Twitter, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? I mean, I'm not addicted to jerking off or masturbating or anything, but that's just completely messed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull that up right here. Then I'll activate the screen share thing, which allows you guys to see what's going on my screen. But in the meantime, how's everybody doing? Still got 2 people. I think it's just one person watching, because I'm watching this myself. Let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, yeah. So I'm not sure about you, how you guys are doing, but just came back today from Daytona Beach. It's a pretty nice place, and hopefully I'll get to, like, maybe follow me on Twitter. I'll like get to show you guys some pictures that I found. One ridiculous thing. We stayed at the Hilton Hotel, by the way, and one ridiculous thing that I found was, okay, so I was standing at the balcony, right? I was just overlooking everybody, and I was watching what they were doing. And I'm not sure exactly what it was, but there was some sort of like a dancing group thing, and they were, they just so happened to be at the same hotel that we were at, and they just came. Okay, so they went down to the beach. You have like a little sidewalk, a big sidewalk area, and you have to take the steps down to go to the actual beach. So I saw these group of girls, and what they did, they were just going down there and they're throwing sand in the air and taking pictures. That's all that they were doing down there. And I was just standing there with I don't know, I don't know what they were doing. It was just absolutely ridiculous face, I guess. Like, I was just sitting there wondering what on earth were they doing. And then I realized actually, like, one of them had a phone, and I was like, oh, typical Instagram thoughts or whatever it is. Let me check out how my audio sounds. I have my laptop plugged in, and I also have my earphones plugged in. What happens is sometimes there's like a weird buzzing sound that happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the sound. Yeah, okay, my audio sounds fine. I was just checking it out. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's better. All right. So, anyways, so one was taking a picture. Let me see if I can remember correctly. One was sitting, so the camera was like aimed at the ocean, and we have 3 of them standing in a triangle-like formation, 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle. But the one in the middle was, farthest towards the ocean, so it formed sort of like a triangle. And what they were doing is they were picking up some sand, and it was like muddy sand, and they were like throwing it up in the air, and they were like doing some sort of a countdown, I'm assuming. And when they threw it up, like, they took a picture. And most of the time, the sand like fell on their heads. Like, I don't know. It was really ridiculous, though. And one of the sad things I realized is that in the current world that we live in, everybody was taking a picture. I swear to God that everywhere you go these days, you will always see somebody taking a picture, and it's ridiculous. And I mean, look, I really enjoyed the trip. It was awesome. I got to tour the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University there. Got to go see, look at the Aeronautical Sciences building. I mean, I'm not a student there. Hopefully, I soon will be. But just taking a look around there. Got to see all those Cessna 172s and Piper Arrows taking off, landing, doing go-arounds, flying traffic patterns. It was really fun. I definitely enjoyed the trip. And tomorrow we're going to be heading over to another city and back 2 days later, just to, clean up some stuff from my old house and all that. But in the meantime, I do have some time to just, relax and whatnot. So I decided, I don't have enough time to write something for another video or a podcast. So why not do a live stream? Besides, it's International Men's Day. Why not? So let me go ahead and let me see if I can turn on my screen. Is it called the screen sharing, screencasting, whatever feature? I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Screen share, I believe is what it is. I'm going to turn on my screen share feature. Okay, let's do, we'll try the application window to see if it works. Is it going to work? It should be working. Let's see if I can present it to everybody. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, okay, everything's set up properly. Everything is set up properly. Okay, good. All right, we got everything set up. I was just checking to make sure that it was working, because last time I had a live stream, it didn't work. I don't know why. But that's good. So, you can see here, we have this article. It's actually from March 12th of 2017. So this too is actually old. But it's titled, Texas State Representative Proposes Fines for Masturbation. Okay, I know this is going to be a good one. We have this whole abortion debate. I'm not so sure about the debate on abortion. I mean, abortions, okay, really quickly though, I would just like to touch on abortions. You see, look, if a man and a girl, they have sex, and they, I'm not sure if, let's say they wear a condom and the condom breaks and they accidentally have a baby. And in my opinion, I believe, and it may change, because I'm keeping an open mind on this specific topic. But anyways, I do believe that a woman should have a right to an abortion only if it threatens the life of the mother, or she didn't have consent to having the baby. Like maybe it was a rape or something. And other than that, there should be no need for an abortion. Now, like I said, that is my personal opinion, and it may change. Because, some people say that regardless, it is a woman's responsibility to carry a child. But hey, that's just my honest opinion on that. Now, if you guys have, I still think, am I the only one here that says that there's somebody else watching? And if there's somebody else watching, let me know, because if you have questions or whatever, or just want to talk, hey, I'm up for it. But whatever, let's actually get on to covering this little article over here. Okay, it says here that a Texas State representative has introduced legislation that would fine men for masturbating and require them to undergo counseling before obtaining a prescription for Viagra, in an effort to highlight anti-abortion laws that place restrictions on women. Legislation introduced by State Representative Jessica Farrar, who is a Democrat, what a surprise, would impose a $100 civil penalty for masturbatory emissions that take place outside of a woman's vagina or a hospital. Masturbatory emissions. You mean ejaculations? That's stupid. So by masturbatory emissions, do you mean ejaculating from masturbation? I think that's what she means. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, it says here that each incident would be considered an act against an unborn child and failing to preserve the sanctity of life, the bill reads. Okay, masturbation, according to her, is an act against an unborn child. An act against an unborn child. Okay, you see about that. Let's do some, well, let's cover some basic biology here. You see, we don't ejaculate unborn children. We ejaculate sperm. We ejaculate sperm, period. Oh, hello there, Joshua MGTOW. How's it going? Aha, we got 3 people watching. I'm at an all-time high. 3 people watching. Yeah. So anyways, she here is saying, she's saying that masturbation is an act against an unborn child. So I don't know about you guys, but how exactly does ejaculating, how is it like an act against an unborn child? You don't ejaculate dead children. You don't ejaculate unborn children. You know, for a child to be born, you need a sperm cell and an egg cell, and they combine. Oh, that's honestly stupid. Hey, Josh or Hatch MGTOW, if you want to come on and talk, you're more than welcome to. You know, I really got nothing else to do after this, just talk with everybody. So if you got nothing else to do, feel free to like come on. I'll send you like a link or something. Anyways, Ferrar's measure, which she dubbed satirical, would allow doctors to refuse to conduct vasectomies, write prescriptions for Viagra, perform a colonoscopy if those actions violate the doctor's personal, moral, or religious beliefs. Heck. What the heck is this lady doing? Like, yeah, this lady's nuts. I'm not sure about you guys, but what the heck is she doing? Wow, whatever. That was just something I saw on Twitter, and when I saw it, it was pretty stupid actually. But you know what? To be honest with you guys, there will probably and most likely be a point in time where masturbating or something like that will actually be like legal or something, where you will be fined for doing things like that, and that most likely will be at a certain point in time in the future. All right, so let's see what else I can find up here. What other types of interesting stuff can I find on the internet? You know what? Hold on a second. I think I have an idea. Heck, can't type. You can't type. It's sometimes hard to like look up stuff. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So, let's see. I actually want to see what feminists have to say about International Men's Day. Now, one thing I'd like to clear out though is that we don't really need International Men's Day, because remember, the whole idea of going your own way is like you're going your own way. Okay, you don't dedicate it to yourself. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now, whoa, boy, we got a lot of stuff over here. Why we don't need? Let's see what they have. Do we really need International Men's Day? Feministcurrent.com. Let's see what they have to say about us. Heck. All right. Kind of, you know what? After this, maybe I can see what kind of stuff they have over here. Because, I mean, it is the feminist current thingy-dingy, so why not see what they have? All right. What the heck? Why is this thing not loading? Let's see. I'm going to blame Russia on this for not loading the entire page. I'll blame Russia on this because, I may not have any evidence, but it was clearly Russia behind it. Yep. Okay, Russia was behind it, guys. It was Russia. I'm sorry, guys, but it was Russia. Heck. Give me your shekels, boy. Here, let me show you some shekels. All right. I am worthless, sir. Fortunately, I have no shekels to offer you. Shekels. Okay. Well, it's a bunch of hack. Anyways, see what kind of stuff we have over here to look up. What types of information do we have? There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something up on here on the side. Whew. All right. Good goy. Yes. I am a very good goy. All right. Ooh. Let's see. What's it called? I'm trying to remember the name of that website again. It was by that mangina feminist boy. I'm not sure what his name was. It's called like We Hunted the Mammoth, I believe. I think that's what it was. We Hunted the Mammoth. So they have to say about it. Because I actually like to hear what different people's opinions about this thing is. Get out of MGTOW, how's it going? Thank you for stopping by. So, basically looking around, trying to find out what different people's opinions about International Men's Day is and all that kind of stuff. You know, some people say, you know, like specifically feminists and all that, you know, they're really the ones who are oppressed. And we, you know, that we aren't. That in fact, we're the privileged ones here. Well, I can only find it. Well, basically, you know, we all know that the pussy pass is definitely something. 1 second. Yeah, sorry. We all know that female, you know, men and women, they both have their pros and cons, so to speak, in society. And I'm trying to see if I can find some examples of female privilege. Oh, we have like a freaking full list female privileges right there. If I can like search Google for that image so I can like enlarge it, I guess. Maybe show you guys a you know, maybe you can actually read it. I can't read that. Hold on a second. Let's look at the dimensions. Is this actually like legible or something? Holy crap, I can't read that. I see some stuff saying like lower chances of being this, lower chances of being that, but I can't read that. You're gonna need some freaking superpowers to read that, aren't you? Oh wow. Is it possible actually to like maybe open that link in a new tab, maybe zoom in on the image? Yeah, let's see if I can open that up. A new tab. Sorry guys. I think something happened with my touchpad. I thought my screen froze in the middle of a stream. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Okay. Yeah, I see it. All right, so you guys may definitely not be able to read that, but I'm seeing stuff like, let's see. Oh, it's even better. Lower chance of being a murder victim, lower chance of committing suicide, lower chance of physical assault, lower chance of or longer average lifespan, less work-related deaths, less work-related injuries, shorter and easier criminal convictions, circumcision. Wait, what does it say? Circumcision. I'm not even sure what that is legal. Draft humidity. Yep, draft humidity. You know, hello there, Templar. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. So another thing is that you know how I used to originally think at first that it's like the third wave of feminism always being unequal. I thought it was like, you know, all the other previous versions of feminism always preached for equality, but it was just third wave feminism that was bad. You know, after actually taking a look at it, first wave feminism never actually preached or tried to fight for women being, you know, requiring women to register for the draft. That was something that I have never seen first wave feminists fight for. Okay, I never seen that. And I don't know about you guys, but by basically advocating for women's suffrage, you know, and keep in mind, women's suffrage is, you know, the right for women to vote, not women's suffering, which some feminists think that is, which is absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, women's suffrage is a woman's right to vote, and that's simply what they fought. This is what they fought for. And how I see voting is it's kind of like a privilege, I guess. You're given the right to vote, and the responsibility is being required to register for the draft. Now, feminists never fought for that, as you know, and I don't get it, because you're basically implying my voice is cracked. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my voice is cracked. Basically, you're implying that women are the weaker sex, but isn't that what feminists are fighting against? Women being strong. And well, first of all, you're supposed to be really fighting for the fact that women and men are equal. And I'm pretty sure that the average man is stronger than the average woman, because we have I think it's 30% more muscle mass. Let me look that up, actually. I just want to have, actual true statistics instead of something I'm saying off the top of my head. So let's look it up. All right. Let's see what the internet has to offer us. Yeah, I was expecting for just bland statistics, the evidence to just be straight out, men are stronger than women. Here's why, 30, I think I remember seeing it somewhere, and it was we have 30%, 35, 33% more muscle mass than them on average, and I can't find it. Heck, wait a minute. I think this is it. Yeah, this is some official government thingy-dingy, some government website. They might offer me an answer. Oh boy. Ooh. What is this? Heck. Here, I think I know what to look up. Maybe let me just look up. I think it's men have more muscle mass than women. And type today. Wow. All right. Yeah, see, the men had 40% more muscle mass in the upper body and 33% more muscle mass or something like that. Yeah, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. This stuff right here. All right. When are you hecking going to come? All right, there we go. Uh-huh. All right, that's it right there, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Muscle numbers. Studies have are you for right now? Right when I was about to read it, got messed up. There we go. Muscle numbers. Studies have proven again and again that men have a greater amount of skeletal muscle than women. In one such study that examined 468 men and women was published in the 1985 issue of a journal of Applied Physiology. Researchers determined that men had an average of 72.6 pounds of muscle compared to the 46.2 pounds found in women. The men had 40% more muscle mass in the upper body and 33% more muscle mass in the lower body. Now, next time a feminist tries to claim that men and women are equal, show them that. Please show them that. Remember, this may be from some random website, but this was a study, and it's been published in an issue of the Journal of Applied Physiology. So that is scientific evidence right there that men and women are not equal due to biological differences. Under the law, I do firmly believe, and everybody should agree, that men and women should have the same rights. Biologically, we are not the same. We are not. Us guys have a penis. We have an X and a Y chromosome. Women, on the other hand, have a vagina and have 2 Y chromosomes. Get it over your head. Yes, under the law, men and women should be equal. However, we are not biologically equal. However, that, once again, should not prevent us from having the same rights and all that. Okay? Accept the facts. And I believe it was a Google employee who got fired for like stating the truth, basically. And that's what it was. Like I think I never really looked fully into that, but it was something along the means of that. Now, let's see what else is on the wonderfulness of the internet. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. I don't need to see this. What's this right here? What is patriarchy? What is when did I open this? Oh yeah, that's what it's for. Or don't need that, and I do not need that. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's okay. So let's see if that's going on. You know what? Let me check something out on Twitter real quick. See if you got any interesting articles to cover. Because basically out of my feed is actually some interesting stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I remember it now. Where was it though? Was it this one? Yeah, I believe it was something from like an innerformen.com or whatever it was. Oh cool. Twitter has a night mode. That's so awesome. Never knew that though. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, what? Holy crap. That's so messed up. Whew. Yeah, I was looking at some. Sorry, guys, for the awkward silence, but I was just looking at these statistics right now. Let me see if I can like pull up Twitter and YouTube. That'd actually be pretty helpful. Yeah, there we go. All right, pretty cool. So these statistics are from an earformen.com. And hold on a second. Okay, yeah. So this statistic is actually from earformen.com. And it says here, okay, there it goes. It was loading. Okay, so whenever somebody tells you about female, I guess suffering, I guess, and men having privileges, why don't you tell them some interesting statistics I found from my good friend Pauline? All right, so get this: 40% of domestic violence victims are male. Okay, 30% of those named after fathers who test for paternity find they are not the biological father. 60% less government funding for prostate cancer research is than Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was reading that the wrong way. Government funding for prostate cancer research is 60% less than the amount for breast cancer, despite diagnosis rates being identical. I actually didn't know that. 85% of all children that exhibit behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. 94% of all industrial deaths and accidents happen to men. Yeah, that's actually very true. We live in a country that survives off of male disposability, and it's time for people to wake up to that. I mean, seriously, why do you think that men are required to register for the draft and women are not? Because this country has survived off of male disposability. It was built off of men hours, men deaths, things like that. And I never see feminists saying, all right, we are strong and independent women, which you're not, who want to add women to the workforce of building skyscrapers or whatever. Seriously, feminists never fight for the advocacy of to take part in dangerous jobs like building skyscrapers or law enforcement. Yeah, there are a lot more women in law enforcement, but other dangerous jobs. I never really see feminists fighting for that. They're always complaining about manspreading or mansplaining, all the typical stuff. Really, that's what it is. Now, anyways, continue looking at these statistics. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. All right. 90% of divorces are initiated by women. Yeah, what a surprise. Hello, Misanthropic, Altruist. How's it going? We're not doing much. If you want to come on the stream, you're more than welcome to, actually. I'm just really talking and showing you guys some stuff. Hello there, MGTOW values. How's it going? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, anyways, right now I was just covering the statistics from avoiceformen.com. And it was basically how, so look, if somebody ever tells you about the issue, I guess, of men having the true privilege and all that stuff, you know what I mean? I was basically reading off some statistics, and it's actually from voiceformen.com. It's been a busy day for streaming this up. Yeah, I really should be getting some rest soon, but the thing was that we just came back from Daytona Beach, like literally it was just a few hours ago, and we're going again to another city. It's like I think like a 5 to 6 hour drive from here, and I really do need to be getting some rest. But I'm not like I'm exhausted, just not tired, not sleepy. So I didn't feel like making a video or whatever or making a podcast. I just felt like what, why not? It's November 19th. It's International Men's Day. We want to do a live stream, so here I am. And yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, if anybody feels, I don't think Misanthropic, I think he's a bit too tired to come on. But if anybody else is, they want to come on, you're more than welcome to. And anyways, yeah. So I was looking at. Oh yeah, this is another thing. 80% of all suicides are men. How many times have you guys ever seen a feminist saying that there is a gap of suicides in men? Now, first of all, we all do know it's just a given that the wage gap is a complete myth. It's really ridiculous and it's pretty stupid. If women on average were really pay less than men, companies would be hiring all women instead of all men, since women labor is cheaper. I mean, really, you got to think about it from a business perspective. If women were really paid less, you would be hiring women only because they are cheaper to pay. Now, on top of that, you have to understand the fact that women are less likely to take vacation days off. Men are more likely to work overtime. Hold on a second. Misanthropic, Altruist. Yeah, I can join for a spell. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. Drop the link. Yeah, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find the link real quick. All right, give me a second, guys. Let me see if I can pull up the link real quick. Let's see. So let me turn off the screen sharing part real quick, and I'll be able to. Yeah, I think it's off. Screen sharing is off. Yeah, okay, there we go. Where's the link? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me go ahead and post it in the live chat so you guys can come on. More than welcome to. All right. Just give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. All right. Yeah. So whatever you guys want to talk about, you're more than welcome to. I really got nothing else to talk about. All right. As soon as my laptop screen loads, it's taking a while, I'll be able to post it. All right, there you go. Link's on. All right, there we go. All right, you guys can go ahead and come on when you're ready. I'll be waiting. All right. Hey, you there, Misanthropic? Oh, he's got his mic on mute. He's got his mic on mute. Let's give him a second.
Son of a.
All right, you guys there?
I think I'm here. I may will be here soon.
All right, cool. So what you guys want to talk about?
Well, this is MGTOW values, and you know, you were talking about a good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were talking about a good thing that that feminists and women in general don't talk about the male suicide problem, and yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. I mean, really, if they truly did care about equality, they would be advocating or telling women to kill themselves to make the suicide rate equal. Am I right?
Yeah, and you know, they're never going to do that. They're never going to fight to go work in the mines or fight to get in the front lines. They're never going to do that. And because they're never going to do that, you know, what I just did in my last video, this is liberation for men, because we know the truth now. We see it clearly.
Yeah, exactly. So, remember, feminism is a women's supremacy movement that carries an anti-male agenda. I don't know how some people still don't understand that.
Yep. And this is now freedom for men, because we see it. The governments have taken up the feminist banner, and we're free. We can just walk away. Just walk away. There's no guilt in walking away from a system like this.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, I'm not sure about you, but there's definitely going to be some sort of a collapse. And I know some people have been talking about it, and I can definitely agree that there will be some form of a collapse. I'm not sure how exactly it will be, but, you know, basically society will collapse at some point if it continues to head in the direction that we're heading. So, we've got to basically, you know, form a plan, I guess.
Yes. No, you look at the situation in the economy, it's unsustainable. The situation in the fertility rates, that's unsustainable. It's unsustainable in so many ways. It's going to collapse. Right. So MGTOW, you know, in the past said enjoy the decline, but really that means get yourself protected in some way. Be prepared.
Right. Right. Yeah. So this is a question I want to, you know, I like to ask different people questions related to this. So obviously, you know, not directly to MGTOW, but, you know, science, I think it's like some sort of a study or something, and multiple studies have shown that marriage rates are declining, divorce rates are increasing. That this obviously is a sign that more people are basically getting single, or they're staying single.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's actually not. I don't think it's actually MGTOW that's directly or only a result of that. If you take a check with younger people, both men or boys or girls in this case, both of them are stating they have no plans to marry. Many of them are stating that they have plans to never have kids. So there's definitely been a cultural shift And MGTOW is just it's kind of a byproduct from things that are already occurring. So
yeah, MGTOW's not causing this. Maybe some of it, but not much now.
Well, true. Do you guys have any idea of what that might be?
Well,
people are unsatisfied and bored, and everybody knows something is wrong, something doesn't fit, something's amiss. Some people can't put their finger on it. Some people just escape it and really don't care. And then there's MGTOW, where we put our finger on it and we did action by inaction. So
true.
I like that. Action by inaction. That's it. Just walk off the plantation silently. We know what's wrong in some ways, so act.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys think that things are going to get worse? And I'm talking specifically about, I guess you could say, women's attitudes in general. I personally believe that that's going to get worse. And let me just weigh into that real quickly. So when women are brought up, obviously, basically from school age to even college and all that stuff, they're put on a pedestal without a doubt. You know, boys will do little things every, now and then, like, for example, holding the door open for them. And some of my earliest memories are, boys just sacrificing everything, like maybe it'd be their snack for snack time or whatever, giving it to the girls and all that kind of stuff. So all that adding up will cause entitlement. Now, we have this wonderful thing called social media we have, all right? So what this does is it creates a self-centered attitude in the next generation of women. So on top of having this generation of women that are already self-centered, entitled, and you add that to the self-centeredness, that's just going to make it even worse. Don't you agree?
Oh,
well,
yeah,
because there's more of a disconnect. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, it's probably the most interesting time to be alive, period, because there's so much going on all at once. We're all inside of the box, so sometimes it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. But we now have access, and we have ubiquitous access to a technology which can instantly have you communicate with someone across the world at any given moment of any given day, right? That is amazing.
Right.
Nobody saw that coming in our species. It's a game changer. And yet, what do we do with it? Sometimes good comes from it, like these little groups that come on, these discussions. It does seem that there is hope on the horizon, but by and large, society has really fucked this up, like, profoundly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would agree that, even at a young age, the boys that used to give their lunch or hold the doors, there was that episode where a 6-year-old was charged with sexual assault for kissing a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's
this type of insanity, even if you just hear something like that, you're just going to recoil back. And so people are recoiling. They don't know why, but they know that that many things are going wrong. Old people, young people, you see it.
And the top social media sites have already they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. I mean, they've all been caught doing these studies and running these algorithms where they only show certain people certain things to affect their mood. I mean, this is all, and most people are aware of this to some degree, but they still continue to partake in this social experiment, these social media experiments. It's just crazy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I guess you could say that at a younger age, more people are starting, especially of the MGTOW philosophy thing, more people are actually becoming aware of it. I'm talking about people who are like me in middle school. Yeah, people even younger than that. Have you guys ever heard of the YouTube channel Sunrise Hoodie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think his video, it was titled, I think it's something along the means of teens are now turning to MGTOW or something like that. And, the comment section, I was surprised by, it was probably literally thousands of teens. And they were all saying that they were going their own way. They're all giving their these personal experiences of them basically dealing with women. And it was actually, I mean, of course.
I first caught wind of it from an Australian article a couple of years back. So it's been kicking around for a couple of years now. And I've got a lot of mixed feelings about the youth and MGTOW, because I think it's it's kind of a hallmark for some pretty interesting and possibly negative repercussions. You know, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't be in the society where a boy, who should be worried about his future anyway, is caught up
Yes,
with all of this gender war nonsense. We shouldn't have to live in that society, but apparently we are in that reality.
we are. Exactly.
So
I did a video on Tyler Cost and that story about Tyler Cost. You know, he was 13 and he was this, you know, kid who was able to attract young women and you know, get them into the bed and deflower them. And he had done this to, you know, a dozen young women. And I knew guys like that when I was young, back in the, you know, 1970s. And this was what everyone wanted to do. So he was living this story, and these women ganged up on him in the social media. And like that movie, they railroaded him, and he got involved in the legal system, and they needed to get a conviction just to protect themselves.
yep.
And they put him in jail for 3 years before he finally said, okay, I'll say whatever it is you want me to say, just get me out of here.
And had that been a 13-year-old girl with the exact same behavior, we all know that she wouldn't have had the same consequences, if any at all. So.
If any at all.
Yeah, the pussy pass is undeniable.
And so this is the young men. They know about this Tyler Cost story or similar stories, because there's hundreds happening in every state. And so
I think young men are aware that, you know, and I think this is where it gets tricky, because some will fall back into a nostalgia of an era they never actually experienced or witnessed. They get it all through media or whatever. And sometimes that can be a seduction, escapism, and other forms of media, video games like that. All of that kind of makes sense. It happens even to older guys. But I think what's happening is that young men, they lack the language to kind of put a finger on it. And the language is that young men are being denied their rite of passage. They're being denied a natural coming of age. And so they're trying to supplement that with a lot of different things. So,
yeah. And Angry Harry spoke about this as the death of intimacy. And this has happened, that somebody wants, you know, young boys and girls to be hostile towards each other. And it's working. And men are coming to MGTOW. Young men are coming to MGTOW as the only way to protect themselves.
Right. The whole idea.
It is a mixed feeling thing.
Yeah, the whole idea that, you know, men, especially young boys, that we live in a society where we have to like follow this certain philosophy of basically detaching yourself from your, I guess you could say, your biological partner. We're made, you know, men are made for women, women are made for men. That's how we're biologically designed. And if we live in a world where people from a young age have to learn to be extra cautious around them and to be aware of their surroundings around them, that's absolutely absurd. I would have never imagined that we would live in a world like this, but we have. We do.
That's right. And, you know, you getting this message out that this is the reality. It's not the nostalgia that you see in the movies. It's a different world.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, I believe it was my video. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It was called something like The Men in the, I think it was called The Men in the Media or something like that. Basically, what I talked about there was how we're always raised around, you know, the idea that you have to get married or that you have to find a girlfriend, have kids, you know, move into a house to, you know, be a complete person. You need a woman to complete yourself. Because, you know, we're always seeing these movies. You know, the plot will be something along the means of a man and a woman. They don't know each other. There's a problem, and eventually they meet each other. They like each other. They get married or whatever. They kiss each other. They do whatever, and they live happily ever after. You know, it can be in a TV show, maybe in a book, in a movie. It can be anything like that. And we always see that, and that this gives us the idea that we need a woman to complete ourselves, and that just makes the problem really even worse.
Well, yeah, this is that narrative, the courtly love narrative that's been going on for 300 years. And today it's just not safe for young men. So you got to break out of that narrative, and it's a sad thing. It's a horrible thing in some way, that you do have to be so careful and watch everything you do and say, because somebody wants to bring you down because that's their excitement for the day.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, true. And this is a question for anybody. You guys who wants to answer this. How do you, this can be a personal opinion or anything. How do you guys think that women react to the decline in available men? I hear women say all the time, "Good men available." Well, soon it's going to be there are really no men available at all.
Well, you shouldn't believe most women when they complain about good men, because even when they have the options for good men, they don't often go for them. And there's not going to be a lack of bad men in the world. In fact, as things get worse, you're going to see men do desperate things in desperate times. And so there will be an abundance of women to choose from the bad boys and the thugs and the perceived alphas. They're not going until it goes to complete shit, they'll be fine. They'll be sitting pretty because they're going to have just so many different kinds of simps lined up. That won't change. So,
well,
a lot of these problems aren't really, gynocentrism. If it's a natural thing and it served a purpose to get us this far, then objectively, there's not a negative connotation to it. It's what we've done with it in certain ways that's gotten things out of hand and has disrupted a balance that we may have once had. And now that balance is out of whack, it may have to go completely off kilter to ever be restored, if at all. And it is what it is. But I mean, you have to look at things like gynocentrism objectively, because when you keep putting negative connotation on that, it'll elicit more emotionality from you, and you'll start thinking less and less with your brain and more with your heart, and you'll fall into the pitfalls. You'll fall into the things and the lies that they told you in the blue pill world, like you need a woman to complete you. That'll start to make sense to you again, because you've like, you know what? I'm going through a rough part of my life. I feel lonely. Well, of course you're going to feel lonely. You belong to a social species, but that's how they get, as far as romance, the part of the lie about romance is that one woman for your entire life can complete you for your entire life. That is absolutely disrespectful to both genders involved, this whole idea. It is completely unrealistic. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. You're not doing any self-accountability, any self-reflection, any personal growth. You're putting everything else externally onto another human being who's going to be flawed. Like, it's just horrible advice from the jump, but it was quite seductive for many, many years. It's been quite seductive to a lot of people. So,
and it worked for 1,000 years or 2,000 years. It worked, basically. Not perfectly, but it worked. But now it's not working at all.
True.
Yeah, men were hardwired to if there was something that resembled a good deal, even if it wasn't, the best deal, they would take it. I think even old men, even old school guys that really didn't have a handle on things that we know of as male disposability or utility. I think they were aware of it in their own ways, but they were willing to make those sacrifices because there was a certain amount of reciprocal. They were getting something in return, and now that that's off the table and there's nothing to get in return, men have no other choice but to go their own way, for their own dignity, for their own sanity. So,
true, yeah, true. And is it all right if I pose another question to you guys?
Sure.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we all basically understand the concept that feminism, it's going to evolve. Of course, literally feminism, I don't really think it's going to last forever. But with the the way that the world is changing, how do you think feminism as a movement is going to react to the changing conditions?
Well, I think if we can use current events as a test, it's going to overplay its hand. There's going to be a blue pill male response to all of these accusations floating about in Hollywood and in DC. They're going to roll down. We're going to start seeing universities and even schools and all these other institutions start to do it. We already kind of are. And when it hits a certain kind of peak, it's hard to predict, but it's not going to be pretty. It's going to get. I've already heard reports that some businesses or some men in businesses are avoiding contact with their female workers at all costs because they don't want to risk a false accusation.
That's right. Men are hiring male secretaries now whenever they can.
Yeah, You know, unfortunately, I would do the same if I were to own a business. I would have done the same. And also, you know, I think when I first thought about adapting the MGTOW philosophy and all that stuff, I never actually fully was accepting, I guess, the idea of going monk or going monk, whatever. But now that I'm understanding the reality of things from a bigger perspective, from a new perspective, I definitely think that going monk will be the safest and easiest way to go. You know what I mean?
Well, that's as someone who is monkish, I would, and because you're so absolutely, awfully young, I would just, relax when it comes to that. If you're aware enough of MGTOW stuff, then you should also be aware of a lot of risk mitigation when it comes to contact with women, protecting yourself both physically and in other ways. And you know what? I mean, give yourself a little slack. I mean, if it's something you want to pursue, by all means pursue it. But you need to understand that it is a huge and tall order that not even most older men can accomplish. It is a very difficult thing to manage for a lot of for some guys. After a while, it becomes second nature. It's not a big deal. But this is not the default condition for men. You need to understand that. So
yeah, you don't have to make a lifetime decision. Just move into a mode of self-awareness and protection and do it today and then do it tomorrow and then just see what happens. But you don't have to make a final decision for the next 70 years of your life today.
Yeah, in fact, or maybe not. Maybe it's the title of rather than look into the future, like, oh, I'm going to be a monk or celibate or whatever for the rest of my life. Look into the future about delaying gratification. This is good advice that you can apply to about almost anything.
Yeah.
If something comes up, if a lady comes up or someone who piques your interest comes up, you're going to be put to task, and you may have other things going on. You might have to put her in the back burner if you and just double up on your focus, because you've got the world awaiting you, and it's awaiting for lots of decisions for you to make to determine where you're going to go in life. So.
True.
Yeah, that was my story. I was, concerned about all these MGTOW issues way back in 1980 when I graduated university the first time, and I just delayed the gratification. I just focused on studies. I focused on having experiences and didn't bother to go out and date and get married. And that was just too risky, I thought, but I couldn't really put it into words. So I just delayed and delayed, and then other things happened. So you don't have to make a final decision. I never did. Perhaps I still haven't.
Yeah.
Right.
And, and when it comes to something like, a male going celibate and looking into a future like that there's a psychological impact there. And if it causes undue stress in a young man, then don't even bother dealing with that right now. You don't really have to. If you're already focused on some stuff now, and you're you're not as at risk to go knock a girl up, you're already sitting pretty. You're okay. You're gonna be all right. So far, so good. So.
Yeah. And there's another. This is more of actually a personal question. So currently, I am 14, and obviously that means girls around me are blue. They're basically boss and me. Developing all the the important stuff, the breasts, the whatnot. They're going through puberty. They're starting to look like girls to women. Now, obviously, this is pretty hard for us guys. You know what I mean? So I try my best to not look at them, and but every now and then I do catch myself looking at them. So maybe since you guys are a lot older than me, what personal advice can you give to me to basically stop myself from looking at them? Because look, I do my best to concentrate on something else. Maybe concentrate on my maybe if it's at class, I'll concentrate on my paper or concentrate on the board or something. But whenever they're moving, that's really the problem. I keep looking at them. Do you guys have any personal advice to maybe help me deal with that?
Getting into kind of strange area. So here's the thing: as older MGTOW, certain subjects we're going to avoid because it can be used against all of us later by talking with a young man about sexual related issues.
Okay.
They would try to use that against us later, and so we wouldn't want to put you at risk or ourselves at risk for that. But I do have a PG kind of way of looking at this. So what I do from time to time when I catch myself, you know, kind of being distracted by the female form is I just kind of remind myself how, you know, how absurdly human they are. And what I mean by that is that, like, you know, you catch a girl's backside, all you gotta do is remember, you know, she defecates, and that should probably change the way you look at it a little bit. You know, the front side of it, just constantly remind yourself that's just a human, no big deal. I mean, she does all the same crazy, crude stuff that I do as a human being. It's not that big of a deal. And you know, you just kind of it's you begin to desexualize yourself and the object of your attention at the time, and it tends to work. Not completely and not all the time. You're going to definitely go into thoughts, but you know, it's worked for me for time to time. So
yeah, this is just your biological programming kicking in. It's a normal and natural thing, nothing to get upset about. But yes, it's just normal. So don't try to fight it too much. By fighting it, you heighten it. And the culture in the West is one of a hypersexualized culture. And so if you try to move away from movies and try to desensitize all the influences that the mass media wants you to have, then you know, it may, you know, lessen that impact that you get and that you will get for the rest of your life.
Right.
There's no moving away from that I've found. And I'm a little older than MA here. So this is something you'll be dealing with your whole life. You're programmed, you're biologically programmed to see it. That hourglass figure, it's in your brain from your DNA.
All right.
So you can't help but look.
True. Yeah, I'm just trying my best to not look. Okay. So another thing.
Looking is not a big deal. I mean, looking doesn't always beget behavior. I mean, if you go out, if you notice that you do things to go out of your way and behave differently, then that's something that you can put in check. But looking is usually inconsequential. So,
yeah. But staring is a different thing.
No, I'm not staring.
Daydreaming. Well, you know, it's going to happen, but you catch yourself, but you're just looking and look somewhere else.
True. Exactly. Okay, and just the other day, I was actually on, I think it's like MGTOW.com or something. I was going through like the forums, and it was about these guys. The guys who were, you know, talking about it, they're actually like, I think 30-ish maybe, and of course that's around the time that women around them will hit the wall. So from what they were talking about, for them it was more of a bittersweet experience. You know, the girls that they once found hot and all that, they weren't just hot anymore. You know, they didn't look the same. And then they're like, oh, yes, finally, that sweet karma. You know, this is what I've been waiting for. But they also said they had a bit of a bittersweet feeling. They did it, you know, they were like, nah, it just doesn't feel the same anymore. You know what I mean? Guys are, you know, probably most likely gone through that. What was it like for you when women around you have hit the wall?
Well, for me, I missed it. I left the West. So I haven't seen all those girls that I would have grown up with. So I don't know. No, I never saw them.
Where'd you go?
I lived in Southeast Asia. Have for 20 years.
Oh, wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, so I'm an outlier. You know, I have a very different life than most people.
So if it's not too much of a personal question, like how do you basically get by, like make a living or whatever it is in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, no, you need to have a skill, and if you have a skill, they'll let you stay. And you know, if you get married, then it's a lot easier. So, but you just can't come here and set something up. You need to have a skill, something in demand. And so you can do it. You can have a life over here. But the women, I will say, are still naturally gynocentric and naturally hypergamous. They will do this. As a man will just look at that hourglass figure, a woman will think, I need a backup resources provider. And you know that, you know, if you fail, then they'll want to move on. This is their nature. So, and there are gold diggers, so you have to be careful.
Right.
But otherwise, no, you have to have skills. And, one skill that is in demand is English. And from that, develop other skills. They want educated people or people with technological skills. And as Asia is growing fantastically, many parts of it, you can find a number of countries that need your skills. You learn a little bit of the language, and you're in.
All right. That's true. That's actually something pretty good to consider.
Yeah, it's an option. But some countries are now being infected by feminism, and it may not work out the best. You got to be careful.
Yep. I see. And so how do you guys? Well, okay. So do you guys? First of all, this is just a question that everybody might have different opinions on this. Personally, I do think that at some point in the future, the government's going to start some sort of enforcement or regulation on marriage to keep society stable, to keep a country's society stable. Do you guys think that's going to happen?
They're social engineers. Yes, they will try to engineer things, but you can't force a man into a home with a woman. They can't do that. They'll try to do something else. They'll try to entice it. But as long as the laws are this way, and the feminists are not going to allow those laws to be changed, there's no real way a man will, reasonably enter into this relationship. So the social engineering will fail, probably.
Yeah. The whole thing. Basically, I've actually started seeing these politicians and stuff. One was in the UK. One, I forgot the country. I think it's like New Zealand. I forgot, but I know one for sure was in the UK, and it was a member of parliament. And they were basically talking about how they were talking. I think it was like it was these. They was going to start these programs to basically get couples together. And I mean, that well, obviously it's a sign that the government's starting to notice these kinds of things. But in the future, what are the steps that they're willing to take to married? That's the one thing that I'm honestly worried about. And I know it may seem ridiculous, but I'm actually wondering for the next generation of men, what are they going to face and what's going to happen to them?
The way it is now, you still have to consent. You still have to say those words, "I do," and they can't hold a shotgun up against your head. Unless you get the woman pregnant, in which case you're in the legal system and they'll just take your money. Okay.
Right.
So as long as you stay outside of the legal system, the best they can do is entice you to become vulnerable to a woman and her whims. So
True.
I don't see them, taking out shotguns and saying, young men have to marry young women. They'll try to pay you. They'll try to do this and that. But at the end, that woman can make one unverified phone call and have your life ruined.
Yep. True. Yeah, and I believe this. I'm just looking at it right now. Actually, it was in India, I believe, and there were these boys. I think it was like 12,000 boys or something. They were forced to marry these girls, and they were like it was actually at like gunpoint or something. I think some other. I think it's like maybe Angry Mick. I think he covered that or something. They were like held at gunpoint. They were forced to get married. So
yeah, well, that's India, and that's not in the West. And so anything that happens outside of the West does not have anything to do with the men of the West. I live in one of these countries, and whatever happens here it's not connected with the West. They can't do this. India has 1.3 billion people. I've been there. It's absolute chaos. And anything can happen in 1.3 billion people.
Yep, true.
So,
okay.
So, feminists like to do this. They like to say, oh, there's this, anti-women stuff in this country, and that's why we need feminism, in the West. No, this is a misdirection. Do you care more about women in this other country than men in your own country? This is a violence against men in the West, using women in some other country as the fuel for that violence. No, focus on the West. What happens in the West is of concern to men in the West. What happens in other countries, that's their concern. Colonialism is dead.
Right. All right. So, so for MGTOW values, this is actually a question specifically for you. So since you do live in Southeast Asia, do you believe that basically, I guess, like the crap happening in the West is going to spread to the other parts of the world, and if so, how long?
No,
What are the factors and all that stuff?
no. Japan had a different route to their herbivore men. South
Mm-hmm.
Korea is probably more like a Japan situation. But other countries are getting wise. They see the damage to the social fabric of the West by having a fertility rate below replacement for 2 generations and importing people en masse to hide this decline. So other countries are seeing this dislocation. They're seeing young men like you becoming, very wary of engaging in their own communities. So many countries are putting up walls and preventing the sickness of the West from entering their own countries. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, uh, an eventual complete wipeout of the whole world under a disposability of men via women. I don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
The culture
So
of the West is strong in terms of movies and music and fashion and stuff like this, but other aspects of Western culture are seen as toxic, and
yeah,
they're
true.
not
Big time.
inviting it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I've also heard somewhere I can't like it was actually an image on Twitter, and it was about this. Some guy retweeted it, and it was like a basically this some sort of a picture graphic thing, and it showed how like it was like a triangle, and it was showing like feminism, and then it next showed a mass male exodus, aka MGTOW. Then it also showed how MGTOW eventually led men back to the plantation. Like maybe society is going to reform in some sort of way. Do you think that's going to happen?
Well, if it happens before the economic collapse or whatever collapse it's going to be, uh, I don't think so. Nothing seems to be willing to be changed in any real sense. You don't see a movement against these laws that dispossess men of their rights, and so that going back to the plantation is not going to happen until after the collapse, and then it's going to have to be built up from the bottom.
True. Yeah, the damage from feminism can't be undone. And, like you said, there are really no protests or anything against what's going on against men. And then part of that reason is obviously because whenever you do something or try to act out against something, feminists and SJWs are going to go batshit for what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's actually in the Red Pill in their I think it's called the Red Pill documentary by Cassie Jazz. Was like halfway into it, and there was these like men's rights activists that are protesting against some unfair court bias against men, which is true. And then a bunch of feminists and SJWs came in, and they definitely outnumbered the dads there, the guys there, and they're talking about how they were all sexist and all that kind of stuff. So by going out and simply stating the facts and trying to speak out against the problem, you will be shut down instantly, and that's the sad truth about it.
Yeah. Hate truth.
So
you say the truth, but it's hate. And so, yeah, they closed down the dialogue, they closed down the discourse. And the only discourse that we can have reasonably is this wonderful discourse we're having today on YouTube, on your channel. And, men in the chat can ask questions and talk about things without being shouted down. We are in public and yet somehow in private. And this is the way that the message is getting out. Young men have to protect themselves because it's dangerous. Yep. So, yeah, no, they're not going to give up, and they're not going to let men talk in public.
Right, yeah.
So that triangle coming around to men walking back on the plantation, no, it's not happening. It's happening in the other direction. The exodus is continuing, apparently.
Right.
By the statistics, you see it.
Right. And which point is too far? I mean, there has to be some point too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just going to be too far. What point will that be?
Don't know. Nobody knows. What's the trigger for the collapse? Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the interest rates going up 2%? If the interest rates go up 2%, it's immediate. It'll happen. There'll be a global freeze of finance, and then it all breaks down within 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, some war somewhere could be the trigger. You know, Catalonia, Spanish troops enter Catalonia, that could be a trigger. There's multiple triggers. We don't know how people are going to react given an extreme situation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not an expert in finances or anything, but I think we can all definitely agree on like investing on some sort of an alternative currency than what we, currently have, like the U.S. dollar or something. Maybe invest in gold or silver, because, like you said, you never know what's going to happen. So you never know when that's going to be useful, right?
Oh, definitely. If you can, start forming a diversified portfolio. Whatever it is, diversify. Gold and silver, the rule is, if you don't hold it, you don't have it. So you have to be able to hold it in your hand and maybe dig a hole and bury it. And don't tell anyone you have it, and don't tell anyone where it's buried. And so, yeah, some percent, maybe 10%. So if there's a problem with the currency, it goes into hyperinflation. And in the 20th century, 100 currencies did hyperinflation. That's one a year. So some currencies are going to hyperinflate in the next 100 years. So gold and silver is a hedge against hyperinflation. The lower the dollar goes, the higher silver and gold go. And so your overall purchase ability remains stable. But then you want to diversify into hard resources like land, and hopefully productive land, in case you have to grow food or something, right? Or hide out or something. So it's good to have a piece of land somewhere that you can just escape to. And again, don't tell anyone you have it. And you put some supplies there. And so this is prepping. If you're not a prepper, you should be. You should have a bug out bag. So you just put it on your back and you're not dependent on anyone, at least for a few days, maybe a week.
True.
You can get yourself here or there or anywhere with that backpack. And so, even if it's a small event like the power going out for a week, you can make it through and there's no great problem.
Right. Basically just become a survivalist of some sort.
Yeah, a little bit of that. So that's part of this diversified portfolio as well. So you're prepared. We want to be Boy Scouts, even though the Boy Scouts now invite girls, but you want to be a Boy Scout and be prepared.
Right. Yeah, I don't even call them the Boy Scouts anymore. I just call them like the X Scouts. Me and my friend, I'm not sure if it's on here now, but we seriously don't even refer to them, like, not even as a joke anymore. At first it was like a joke, but we seriously just refer to them as the X Scouts. And I mean, you know what I mean?
I like that. The X Scouts. Oh, that's so sad. That's sad.
Right.
What happened?
I know. And what's this whole deal about men and women becoming like completely equal and trying to like make, I'm not sure how to word it, but basically bring them together in places they don't belong. Like, for example, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. That is a category, or that's a place where they should be separated. So what's this whole idea about, like, what's the whole narrative? What's the point behind men and women just completely coming together? I mean, this is obviously gonna have some negative effects, but what's like the idea behind it?
It's about invading male spaces. You think boys are going to be allowed in the girls' club? No way. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course not.
This is about placating to women and their inferiority complexes and their, wish to always be around what we're doing. This is basically heifers checking out what the bulls do. They can't stop this. They always want to check out what we're doing. And so it's been an ongoing thing, and the process has taken a while. But everything that you would imagine is like a male space has been invaded. And the reverse is not true. There are more female spaces than ever. So.
Yes, and there's that practical aspect of what they want to do and the psychological aspect, but there's also a philosophical underpinning with egalitarianism that some people view, equality in every sense between all the genders. All humans are created equal. Well, this may not be true.
It probably isn't true. But the best we can hope for is balance or harmony. But this equality thing, we don't see this reflected in nature among any species. So why are we the exception? You could be smart about it and be like, oh, we got a frontal lobe, so we're capable of it. Bullshit. We're also capable of murder, but we don't do that all the time. Or maybe we do it too much, depending on who you ask. So.
Yeah, there's a difference between equality of opportunity and equality of result. And you read Isaiah Berlin with his two conceptions of liberty, positive and negative, and what they've done is they said we want an equality of result, and so Boy Scout seems to give a better result, so we want girls in there, as opposed to having Girl Scouts create their own result, whatever that is.
So, Kevin, I have a question for you, if you're game.
Yeah, sure.
Are your folks aware of your online content creation, MGTOW content creation activity?
No, of course not. They're aware of the idea of me not wanting to get married, and of course, that's have some mixed reactions. My dad, he's like, yeah, it's like he's not he's not like a dad who doesn't care. Like, I'm not super proud of your decision, but I'm not completely against it. It's up to you. My mom, she's like every time I bring it up, she's like, why don't you want to get married? Are you gay or something? I mean, of course, I know that's like some sort of a shaming tactic, but of course, things just aren't the same anymore. I don't think they understand how bad things actually are. Like, the idea of me not wanting to get married, I've made that aware because we are actually from Bangladesh, which is like a bit east of India. So culturally, it's going to be a big deal. Religiously, that's also going to be a big deal and all that stuff. So I do know that at some point in the future, I'm going to have to explain. I'm going to have to offer an explanation of why I don't want to get married, basically. So I'm not going to, just rub it in their face every time I meet them, say, I don't want to get married. No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, mom, dad, I've been, thinking about lately, I just, in the future, I don't want to get married. And I just said that, and that's it. The whole idea of me, me telling them about making MGTOW stuff, no, I never told them about it. In fact, the only person that I fully trust about my MGTOW channel that I know in real life is this one guy I go to school with, and he's actually a moderator on my channel. But other than that, no. He's the only person I know in my personal life that knows about my channel.
In your perspective, is your folks' marriage functional? Would you consider it healthy in your perspective?
It's healthier, much healthier than other marriages. I mean, of course, they've gone through their major arguments, and that's about to happen. But I've been raised in a healthy, stable family, and I would like to keep my life as peaceful as it is. I don't want to mess it up by screwing some chick and messing up the rest of my life. Basically, I want to keep things as peaceful as possible. So I've never had any actual, divorces or anything like that.
Can I ask, are you in Canada or the States?
I'm in the States.
Okay. I looked at the statistics in Canada, and, I'm going to assume that your parents are just recent immigrants and you're the first generation born there.
So I'm not exactly sure about that, but like my mom and dad, they're like, so my mom, she was born like somewhere. No, we were both born actually. Me and my mom were born in Dhaka, Bangladesh. My dad was born in a village in Bangladesh, and they legally came here and all that stuff. I was actually born in Bangladesh because I'm actually an orphan, but they just brought me here.
Okay, and that's great. Yeah. So really, you're the first generation born into the culture of North America. And America, Canada and America, we're an immigrant place, and so everyone comes at some point, and then they become American. You're American. Your parents are still Bangladeshi as such. Americans, we know this. And so the statistics say that your parents will have the values of their original country, but you will move more into the situation. And if you do get married, your kids will be having fertility well below replacement as per normal. So the immigrant values come, but they quickly go down within 2 generations. It's the same. So what I would advise is don't look into the future so far and say you're not going to get married or not going to get married. That will happen when it happens. So don't make that statement. Make a different statement that you haven't found a woman, a girl who reflects the values that you like or something, and then you may raise the issue that these women that you meet, these young women that you meet, seem to be different and think different things than your mother, and just indicate that it's dangerous here. They maybe don't understand this danger because they grew up in Bangladesh, and I've been to Bangladesh. I've been to Calcutta and spent some time in West Bengal, and it's a very different situation there, and I can appreciate how they view life in one way, but you get into North America and it's a very different thing that they may not fully appreciate because they didn't grow up in it.
True.
So don't talk about the future. You know, as a young kid, I grew up into this feminist thing, and maybe I said I didn't want to have kids. Well, that turned out not to be true. But that took, 20 years, 30 years for it not to be true. So you don't know about the future. All you know about really is right now. And you are in a situation, you're looking around and you're seeing danger. So just say that you're looking around and seeing the possibilities.
Well, because they come from a different country, which might have its own values and traditions. Is the best case scenario for them that you find a nice Bangladeshi girl and settle down with her? Is that the best case scenario? Or do they actually, or they naive expect you to find a good woman among the locals? I mean, I guess I can't see that happening.
Well, for my mom, she doesn't really care about ethnicity stuff. I'm not much of a religious person. My dad isn't much of a religious person either. But my mom is, and she just says as long as they're Muslim, that's all she really cares about. She doesn't really care about race and all that. And, that's like religion, race, that's not a big deal to me either. But that's up to her. But let me just say something from personal experience. Even as a kid, when I went to visit Bangladesh, a lot of, in public, a lot of the girls there, they just honestly have spoiled attitudes. They'll be surprised by how messed up their attitudes are. And in America, just because they're, Bangladesh does not mean that they're instantly just a perfect person. They're just like, I guess you say westernized women. They're just like that. I mean, they're just from Bangladesh. That's truly the only difference. So it's not worth it. The matter of the culture, or the matter of the race, not the race, the ethnicity, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bangladesh has great issues. It's a small piece of land, roughly the size of New Brunswick in Canada, with 90, 100 million people. True. And I'm not sure about the cultural situation there, but there is a female empowerment movement, but there's also great poverty, and there you won't find that same attitude. You'll find gynocentrism because they're poor, and hypergamy natural, so they want to have value up. But if you bring a Bangladeshi woman to America as a young woman, she will immediately very quickly learn that she's one phone call away from dumping you and being able to move up the ladder.
Yep, true. And the whole idea of like just meeting women and all that, I'm not exactly sure if so let's say I were to supposedly get married and all that stuff. How it works with us is it's not exactly like you just meet somebody that works. It's actually pretty weird in my opinion. Like it's the parents, like it's not like a forced marriage, but it's what's called an arranged marriage. Like the parents, they meet up and say, "Hey, does your daughter want to marry my son or whatever it is?" They meet up, and usually like they just meet up, have dinner, and talk about marriage, while the son and the daughter are there. knowing that might be their future spouse. And from what I understand, it's really awkward. Okay, my mom, she just like, I think it was like a year ago. It was for my cousin. He is actually a pretty smart guy. He got his bachelor's from MIT. He's from Bangladesh, but he studied in Russia. Got his bachelor's from MIT. He got a scholarship there. Really smart guy. He was in aerospace engineering, and he wanted to get married and all this stuff. And he told me when he met up with this girl, he wasn't scared of the girl herself, but it was just the pure awkwardness of actually sitting there, and while they were discussing all these things, you were just kind of having, just being like totally still like a statue. It's completely awkward. So the whole process itself is something I want no part of, to be honest with you.
Well, part of that awkwardness comes from you're not in a cultural situation where that is normal. You don't see that in movies. You don't read about it. You don't hear other people talking about it. And yes, it would be awkward. But if you were in a cultural situation where this happened all the time, like a matchmaking culture, then it seems more normal. And what is the purpose of getting together with a woman? Well, in the West, there was matchmaking in the West, but there was also like an interview process for the woman, and she would eventually choose, and that was the end of the story. And there would have been awkwardness in that, I would think. One woman sitting there with 6 guys, each, trying to attract the attentions of this woman. We don't do that today. And so these cultural norms change over time and different places. But the purpose was to raise a family. But today, in the West, the purpose is not to raise a family. The purpose is to make the woman happy, and there's no way to do it.
Right.
So regardless of the situation of making the man and the woman get together, it's going to fail because the purpose is not something sustainable like a family.
Right. And with the whole idea of like the older generation, particularly it being moms, dads, grandparents, and not understanding the full reality of what's going on. What's the best way to allow them to understand this? Because it just seems to be that it's not just with me. It's even for people who've been living there in the United States or in Canada or wherever their entire lives, the older generations don't seem to understand the reality of things. What's the best way to quite frankly, just let them understand?
You have to speak in their language, and it sounds like, especially when it comes to mom, just like what values suggested. Go back to values. Go back. You know what, Mom? I don't think any of these girls have the values that you would appreciate, and I certainly don't appreciate. So I'm going to keep looking, and I think that'll satisfy her for a lot longer than you might imagine. So.
Yeah, and you can bring up divorces happening, amongst their friends, and point out that this is not what you want, and and just gently do it gently. Try to disclose the reality of the world that's around them, not what they want in their minds or their hearts, but what's actual. There is cognitive dissonance. They want to block out this bad stuff and hope for the ideal future that you will, follow this path of sustainability of the community. But they want to wish for that. It's a wish, and it's hard to move them out of that wish, and maybe you don't want to, but you have to.
They have their own kind of journey too, because you got to keep in mind they're shifting from one culture to another, so they're probably not going to give up certain values that are dear to them. However, to a certain degree, because they're in this other country, they are assimilating in certain ways. So they're walking this line. But you because of your youth, even though you were born in Bangladesh, basically first generation, you are this. You are this culture. They're not. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different stuff at play. You have to be careful of you just got to speak their language. That's about it. Just realize they are human beings. They're not just these crazy people that happen to be your parents. They're human beings too, and it becomes a lot easier to deal with everybody when you kind of see their humanity and treat them as such, and which means that they have to be held accountable as well. If they lead you astray, you do have to assert, like, hey, no, but you'll find that out as you get older anyway. So,
right, yeah, and Values, this is actually a question I'm asking you. I've been wondering this myself. So, have you ever been to Dubai or anywhere in the United Arab Emirates?
No, my closest to an Arab country was Morocco, and
Okay.
so there, it's I'm not sure what it was. I didn't look for it there, but the Arab countries they have their own culture and way of dealing with things, which is different than even the North African Arab cultures. So every country has different ways, although similar in some cases, but they're different.
Oh no, I was actually well, I was just you seem to be all over the place. I was wondering though, because I was thinking of moving there. Well, okay, so have you at least heard of Emirates Airlines? Have you ever heard of them?
Oh yeah, I know Emirates Airlines.
Yeah, I was looking for a job maybe for flying as a pilot career for an airlines, and maybe if things are really messed up here, Emirates Airlines would definitely be the airline I'd love to fly for.
Well, yes,
from what I know about, I've known people that have traveled to Dubai. From what I've gathered is that it's pretty cool place as far as technology, and it's pretty advanced. I mean, they got marvels over there. However, it's very restrictive in all ways that you can imagine. So it does not have certain liberties, privileges, or freedoms that you might find in the West. At the same time. So.
Yeah. However, a career as an airline pilot sounds very good.
Yeah.
And so the focus, I think, as a young man, should be to get this career. Being an airline pilot is difficult, and the focus should be on that. And once you get in a plane and get to a few countries, you will, gain some experience and see the differences and see what you like and see the possibilities. So, you start with Emirates, but you might move to a different airline. There's possibilities.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as joining airlines go, I'm not I'm not immediately gonna, join Emirates Airlines. I do plan on doing my flight training. Yesterday, I stopped by the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Daytona campus, and I took just walked around a little. There's actually a very nice culture there. Everything there is all about aviation, of course. The whole time I was walking around campus, they share the land with the Daytona Airport. There's trainers, Cessna 172s, and Piper Arrows taking off and landing, doing traffic patterns, touch and goes, whatever it may be. It's really nice there, and you have to start your training there initially, work your way up with the licenses, get the different types of ratings required.
Yep.
Just recently, they required you to get this ATP certificate. First of all, the point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot you have to go through first instead of just jumping into the cockpit of, let's say, a 777.
Oh, yeah.
Now you got to go through, get the 1,500 hours, which is, flying for, let's say, maybe you got to do air tours, banner towing, working for maybe a Part 135 operator, flying smaller operations. Then you got to work your way up to the airline. So it's a long process. But after I get the enough experience, maybe I'm going to move on to another foreign airline. That's what I'm thinking of. But as far as building up my hours and experience, I'm going to stay in the U.S.
Yeah, well, that's a great plan. That sounds like a great plan right there. This is a great job, and there's always, I believe, going to be opportunities. You have that skill. You have something marketable in any country. So,
yeah, definitely.
So go for it, and put off any long-term plans until you get that license in your hand, and you're established. And at that point, you got to be careful because you'll be a magnet for women. They like pilots.
And at that point, all over the world.
All over the world, in every city you fly to, and you can have your choice. You can actually fly out of one country and have a residence in a different country. The world is becoming global. I have friends here they live in this country, but they work in other countries.
Well, yeah, true. You don't have to be a pilot to work in another country.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't have to, where you're from is not where you live or who you work for. If you have a skill that's in demand, then you have some power. You have some choice.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and the funny thing is that it seems to be that everything that I'm basically planning out or having ideas for in life, it just seems to be falling into place perfectly. Like the whole idea of me being a pilot, I've always had that in my head. I guess in my head, I had that in my vision ever since I was a kid. But the true one thing that was really kind of I guess you could say as a little bit of a block, I guess, like a roadblock or whatever, to my pilot career was me worrying about having a wife or me worrying about having kids or whatever. Well, this whole MGTOW philosophy thing, I guess that's kind of a solution to it. You know what I mean? So everything just seems to lay out perfectly.
Yes, it's quite expensive to get that initial training in flight, and if you're trying to raise a family, that may be a prevention. But yes, no, you should delay this until you get established. Don't make any decision. You're too young to make a decision. That's what I'm going to say. You don't have to make these long-term decisions now. Wait.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would put it differently. So, as you get older, the world will thrust upon you responsibilities, decisions, all these really heavy-duty things. If you can delay that as much as you can, the only time you have to do it is within the charge of your folks, is within this youth. If you can get away with delaying that and not having to worry, don't bother worrying about it, brother. Really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Even if it's as simple as hanging around maybe you do see these girls as being silly, but like if that's what it is hanging out with your homeboys and just kind of mocking how stupid they behave, you're gonna miss that time of your life for the rest of your life. I guarantee it, because it'll never be that simple. It's gonna get more and more complicated, So
yes, enjoy the simplicity that you can have.
Well, yeah, definitely can consider that. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm only 14. I already miss being a kid. I mean, that's just something right there.
And so, to older people, you just gotta understand that sounds incredibly absurd to us, because to us, you still are essentially a child, and I don't think we mean offense by that. But
no, young man. He's a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man. There we go. There we go.
I know what you're right, but it's just that what I mean by that is it's more of things were a lot easier now as a kid. Basically, I was in this I guess you could say blue-pilled world. Now that I understand things, it's just it's not stressful. It's just that things are so much, like you said, things are so much more simpler as a kid. It was just simply, go in elementary school, wake up, go to elementary school, do your homework, then play for the rest of the day, eat dinner, go to bed. Simple as that. Now you got so much to do. That's what I mean by I miss that's what I mean by I miss being a kid.
Yeah. You need to deflect the pressures that people are putting on you to make decisions that you shouldn't need to make at 14.
Yeah.
There are decisions you shouldn't need to make. So, as I say, you don't have to make a decision about marriage at 14. Like who or when. It will happen when it happens. So back off from being committed to one action or another action at 14. Yeah. And use the language, as M.A. said, use the language of your parents to describe this to them.
So, MGTOW essentially, for a young man like yourself, I think the greatest thing you can get from it is, the gender dynamic stuff. I don't think it's going to arm you to maybe stay out of some trouble, especially as things get worse and worse in schools, where you are. And you're on the front line of things that myself and MGTOW values probably are not aware of. There's probably subtle ways. You might not even have a language for some of these things that you're observing yet, and so we don't completely know, but we're somewhat aware of our detachment from your experience. But if you already have a handle on some of that, and you've got the focus, and you have an ability to already kind of look at yourself, introspection, you're already miles ahead of your contemporaries, kids your own age. You're already miles ahead. and that's a great thing. You're in a great position right now. So you know what? Unfortunately, yes, young man, your childhood is on the way out. But your manhood doesn't look too bad. I mean, because you already got a grip on some things, and that's a great thing. So this is where my mixed feelings on young MGTOW come from. Is that one? It's kind of an old, broken, worn out man's game because we didn't learn. MGTOW values is a little different. He took a different path, but it's similar. And then, but on the other hand, if one of you young guys gets a handle of this thing and you extract the most benefit and value you can from it, and you got one of you guys ends up being like the next Tesla, that's an exciting thing as an older guy to kind of see, to kind of watch. So
yeah, there's a whole range of young men out there, from the Tyler Costs who played the field and got burned bad to guys who are just completely overlooked and feel themselves inadequate because the girls are just looking at certain, elite men as they want to think. And so what you're experiencing, we don't know, but get the word out that men are the prize. You are the prize. Yeah, you have the will have the skills, you have the ability to get these skills easily, hopefully, and then you are the prize.
Yeah, true. And look, I mean, of course, you guys have more experience about the problems going on with women, of course. But compared to what I'm actually seeing, with what other MGTOWs are discussing, it's just this gut feeling, not from what I'm observing, but maybe from multiple occasions and all the observations and whatnots combined. It's just more of like a gut feeling, something that's in the back of my head, that things are really going to be taken, a turn for the worse. And I really do sincerely mean that. And
see,
I don't know what to say.
I do have something to you've mentioned this a couple times, and you obviously you come across as if you're wearing the burden, the weight of the world on your shoulders, including all of its many problems. And as far and if you add on top of that collapse, and even though there seems to be some objective signs that we're headed into some bad areas, again, I would go back into don't worry, because if you worry and you let it fester too much, you might wind up, 20 years down the line where you're miserable, you're scared, you're bounded by fear, you're inept, you're, all of your dreams kind of went by the wayside because you just allowed yourself to be crippled by this collapse that may or may not have ever come, so whether it's coming or not, it is not as important as how you mentally prepare for what life has to offer you right this moment. What can you do today that's going to make a difference today for yourself?
Right.
And that's all you can ever really, do. And, some of my friends and I, we've actually coined a term. It's called collapse porn. You'll see around in the manosphere and in MGTOW circles, some of these guys almost seem like they want it to happen. And I would suggest don't allow yourself to get to a point where you want to see the world burn, because it's not a happy place to be.
Right.
Yeah, nobody wants it to happen. And so you want to keep positive and take steps forward. Well, appreciating there is some risk and maybe putting some investment, but not, a good balance to keep yourself going forward. Think of yourself 20 years from now flying a 747. And keep your eye on that and work towards that. If something bad happens, well, you got maybe a little something to fall back on for a while. But you're focusing on the future that's going to be good, because we all hope for that future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And no, I'm not like worried about, whatever, some sort of a collapse happening. I'm not really worried about that. No, I'm just saying, like, what's going to happen. That's all. That's what I mean by that. Like, I'm just, I guess you'd say out of curiosity, what's going to happen is what I mean.
Yeah. Well, no, it seems like you have an inquisitive mind, so you're going to struggle with that all your life. You're gonna grapple the big things, the abstract things, and I think both myself and MGTOW values are guilty of this. We probably ponder and think about stuff that we don't necessarily have to, but for some of us, it's almost like a sport or a recreation, or just the way that we've kind of built ourselves. So it's not an inherently bad thing, but sometimes it can lead, just don't let it get to an unhealthy level, because it can. Some of these rabbit holes, some of these red pills, if they can lead you down some dark places, especially when you're younger, with less experience and more vulnerable to things, and that's kind of what I meant by that. So
right, okay, yeah. And also, do you guys believe that the public education system, I guess, is having I guess you could say, treating boys unfairly? Now, I've heard of this, that the public education system is trying to basically treat boys as give them the mentality that they are second-class citizens compared to girls or something like that. They're not treated the same, or things like that. Have you guys ever heard of that or experienced that?
Well, I think the question is to you. Do you experience that?
I'm not really sure, actually.
Oh.
I mean, have I seen things around me that are indications to that? Yes and no. There are some instances that I get this, like it's really hard to explain. I don't know how to word it, but the thing is that I'm hearing one thing and I'm seeing something completely different.
Oh.
I'm seeing this a normal environment. However, maybe it's just that I'm confusing things that are happening in the adult world, and I'm maybe confusing it to a middle school environment.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overcomplicating.
Yeah, maybe you are, because there's information out there, and you then begin to want to see it where you are. But in your classrooms, do the teachers treat the young men and women sort of equally? Do they ask them equal questions and give them good feedback equally? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Are boys separated out in the schools and sent to masculine detoxification lectures?
No, nothing like that.
Then you're in a good place. You're in a good place. So.
It's good. There's a lot of reports coming out, and a lot of them have been substantiated, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like that everywhere. And if you're in a place where you're not seeing this, where you're at, don't worry about it. It's going to be a good place to be. So heck yeah, you might have a really interesting opportunity to actually enjoy your middle school, whereas somebody in the town next to you, or maybe in the state over, is not having the experience. And even though that is unfortunate for them, it shouldn't dissuade you from enjoying and benefiting what you have access to. So
yeah, I hear California has some issues that other states don't down there, and in Canada it's different from province to province, district to district. So enjoy what you have. As long as you feel like you're being well treated, enjoy it.
Right. Oh, and by the way, I actually have my friend here, Rick Astley. I don't know him personally, but I think he's also in the 8th grade, and I think he's about to join the call.
Yeah, sure. Come on in.
Yeah, not sure where he is. Yeah, okay, all right. So specifically regarding feminists and all this stuff, of course, they're going to find a way to, somehow, I guess, blame this on men or whatever. But what's their instant reaction, or just their reaction going to be to more men, going their own way, I guess?
Well, it's an interesting question because, on one hand, it feeds. Well, here's the thing. So on one hand, it actually feeds into what they've been talking about, because there are elements in the manosphere, and certainly in MGTOW, which are genuinely misogynistic. And this gives fodder to feminists to say, hey, look, we were right. Look at how this, group of men, these loser men that don't seem to want us anymore, look how they talk to us. They actually hate us. We were right. The patriarchy is real. They want to bring it full force. So there's one hand to look at it that way, and there's the other ones that they're so self-absorbed and successfully compensated for being such. They're not really paying attention to the, growing but pretty much small, obscure group that poses no threat, because there's no lobbyist amongst us. There's no legislators. There's no politicians. There's no wealth, and there's no collective wealth or collective power in which we're trying to change laws. They already have that.
Right.
In the West, at least. So I think the serious professional victim feminists kind of just look at MGTOW and scoff because they know it's not going to have an impact, because deep down inside they understand the power of gynocentrism. Because even when they see their naysayers like the MRA that claim to want to push legislation or reform in laws or whatever to bring things back to balance, they know it's an uphill battle and that hasn't gone anywhere in the last 30 years that the MRA has been active. So
true.
The Thought Slayer is back from the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, there's a Rick. Yeah. So, how did it go after you were unable to make the last live stream? Like your mom got onto you or something like that, or what happened?
Oh no! It was just because we were out in like the mountains, in like a hotel, bad internet,
Yep.
and the purpose of that vacation was to just not be on the internet all the time, even though me, my mother, and my father, we only did like 2 activities: use slingshots and sling them into the lake, and archery. Like those were all we did.
Oh well, heck. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So I was just talking. Yeah.
How did it go with the slingshot?
I still have it. I have it in my room. I have it in
Were you
my
able
room
to
right now.
hit a target? Were you able to hit a target?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm gonna try to save up some plastic water bottles and make a little range out in the backyard.
Yeah, great. That's a good skill to have.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, Rick, me and MGTOW Values and Misanthropic Altruist, we were basically topic of how I read somewhere that boys basically in the public education system, they're basically being treated like second-class citizens, and then they're given the mentality that girls are worth more than them. Personally, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that too. Here's the thing. Do you mean the boys are acting like that, or the teachers are trying to force that on the students?
The teacher's trying to force it. Yeah.
I only saw that during elementary, when I was I was really really young, but in middle school and everything else, it's just meh. You have your opinion, I don't care, as long as you do your homework and stuff like that. You don't mess up my class,
Oh,
my friend is openly about abortion, about how abortion should be banned.
So to kind of give perspective, you guys aren't going through that, which is great. But as a parent of a 12-year-old girl, a single father to a daughter, I've taken her out of the system entirely. I homeschool because I saw some noticeable things, some of which were related to gender roles and stuff like that. But generally, it just failed my. It just failed my.
Yeah, actually, here's the thing. We aren't devalued. They try to put women on a pedestal at my school because, our school, there's my school says it's promoting college for everyone, but it's mainly just girls because there's this college prep program right now you can take as an elective, I'm pretty sure. It's just making organization. It's just teaching you how to organize and making the work harder.
Is it called
and
Avid
Yeah, Avid.
Yeah, Avid. Yeah, we have it too.
Are only girls allowed in this, or are boys allowed in this too?
Boys and girls are allowed in this, but it barely even does anything. And you have to actually get a very, very good grades just to get it, at least a 3.0 or something. I got a 3.0 easy. I didn't really try at all. And they recommended me in Avid, and I was like, you expect me to work extra? You expect me to work extra without getting any money? No bueno. No bueno.
Right, yeah, exactly. Now, the thing is that it's okay. So really, whenever we're in class, the teacher. So how it works is we have to take this thing called Cornell notes. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah,
they
yeah. I
but
know
we
those
do.
Cornell
Yeah,
notes.
it really does suck. It doesn't help
Yeah,
me at all.
yeah.
But whatever.
Like I
A lot
hate
of the
Cornell
times,
notes.
I know, I know. A lot of the times, the avid students they have to take it, and we don't. You know, they're always.
Yeah.
Those are the few times that I'm thankful that I'm not an avid because
Yes.
I always thought they get to go on field trips and all this.
No,
All this
actually,
stuff,
like
but
the
really,
friend that was
it's all
like
the work.
openly that was like right wing that didn't like abortion.
Mhm.
He's in Avid right now, and he says he has to write a summary about each subject about what he learned, like a 5 sentence summary.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work.
And
I honestly,
like
Yeah, but that's a good skill, I got to say, to write a 5-line summary or 2-line summary.
no.
That's a good.
Here's the thing. I know I can do that very very well. Okay, you all know how I got an A in the evolution section on how Darwin and the evolution was like proven, and how like the finches had their beaks evolve. I could go on for long sessions of time using long words, and that's how I got an A. It's just like a long scientific theories and just like stating the evidence and
right?
Yeah. See, there's
like
the
stating
logic.
A, B, C. You go from A to B, then C.
Oh, that's good. You got logic there. I like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
really.
math. Like I can't really do fractions at all.
Oh, you got a problem with math?
No,
Yeah,
just
I do too. I'm not
fractions. Fractions I hate.
just practice.
Fractions I never got.
Yeah. Hey Rick, what type of math class do you have? Do you have like I have algebra? I think it's called algebra 1 honors or something like that. What do you have?
Wait. Right now, let me see. I have a packet.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like for right now, it's like a ninth grade. It's actually like a ninth grade high school class. So we get to do like the
Oh
credit,
shoot,
we get to
dude!
credit this
Like, we aren't really that ahead. I'm not that math given.
No, I'm not a gifted kid in math either.
Yeah, I
So
struggle in it
subject.
pretty well.
You
Oh,
struggle
wait, you know
in
the
what?
cups and counters? We're doing cups and counters.
What? Cup,
I
what is
don't
that?
know.
What is it?
It's like a new thing that they're doing. Yeah, I remember. My math teacher said we were doing like this new thing that the school district is having us do. It's called cups and counters, like for the math things. And if the X is a positive, you make a V, and if the X is a negative, you make a V that's upside down, and you write pluses every time the amount of a value like a 7 has. So you write 7 pluses, a negative 7. So then you have to write like a 7 minuses, and then you have to like write out.
That's complicating it even more.
Yeah.
I don't see the point now, honestly, but okay.
Yeah. Also, like the math vocabulary, I can't. I can't. It just complicates it too much. Just say the X is this. When you subtract your X, it's just it just makes my head pulsate. It makes like the veins in my neck bulge out.
Yeah, I got you. MGTOW Values, weren't you gonna say something about? I think it's like with math or something.
Yeah. If you're having a problem with math, it may be because you're looking for meaning. You see, I had math block when I was young. Although, in grade 8, I was getting 90s, in math class. But when I hit grade 10 in high school, I dropped down to 50s, and I remained there until I was 35 years old. At which point I took logic, and once I took logic, my math went way up again, and I became a teacher of mathematics in high school. So if you're having trouble with fractions, there's some problem And
oh yeah, the meaning thing.
But,
Yeah, I actually, I never thought about that. I never used logic. I just thought, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
don't do that. Don't look for meaning. That's the worst thing to do. It makes no sense. It sounds weird. Math makes
No, it's like an abstract concept. If it, you have to add on something like, if you have half a pizza, something like that. That's the only way you can find meaning, and that's a lie.
Yeah,
oh God,
no,
my
the
life is a
meaning
lie
will
now.
confuse you. Yeah, don't try to make sense of it. Just accept what it is, do what it is, and don't look for the meaning. Sometimes, in fact, most of the time, there's
Oh wait,
hidden assumptions in
I saw the
mathematics.
new Justice League movie,
Oh yeah.
and Cyborg, he said, I wake up with a language in my head that I don't even speak. That's what fraction is to me. I don't even speak it. Like it.
Yes.
It's just.
Now
I
there
can't
may be a
make
way.
sense of it.
Yeah, there may be a way to get a way to handle it, but it doesn't make sense. And if you try to make sense of it, you'll just confuse yourself. So just follow the technical aspect and leave the meaning until later, if ever. So that's my advice on that. And if you run into a problem on math block later on, it's because they lied to you earlier on. Then just go to just do symbolic logic, and then you'll get math. And you sound like a very logical thinker, so that's what
I
saves
actually
me.
listened to Third Flaming Monkey's how. Wait, what was it again? It was one of his videos. It was like a 6-part video. He made one. Oh yeah. Zen of ZFG. Yeah, I listened to that. That was just pure convincing.
Oh yeah, I don't know it, but he does good stuff. So
No. Just go to the Zen of ZFG, and it shows like the whole like philosophical side of MGTOW. I'm more into that, and that's what brought me to MGTOW, the philosophical side.
Oh, very
and the
good.
logical arguments that was made.
Well, MGTOW.
I wasn't going MGTOW because I was hurt. I was just going MGTOW because oh shoot, their arguments is logical.
Yeah.
I can't argue against it. It does not compute.
Yeah.
You either beat them or join them. If you don't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like you. I joined MGTOW without being hurt. I was one of the lucky ones.
No, actually, I wasn't really hurt. I just gave up after my first girlfriend.
Yes, well,
not because of the pain. Not because of the pain. It was just like, oh shoot. My own mother says my own girlfriend is using me for male attention and validation. She was the one that red pilled me.
Wow.
She was the one that made me taste the first red pill, and then I went on to the women exposed, or like just exposing the bad people. Then I get into this part of like MGTOW 101, one of the segments of woman cheats on man, just you are not the father compilation.
Yeah,
MGTOW 101 does, And then like at the end of the video, this is why you don't marry gold diggers, guys. You need to go MGTOW. And then I'm like, hey, I never heard this phrase before. May as well look it up.
Oh, yeah.
And try to find out what it means.
Yes, well, that's the way a lot of men make it into MGTOW, through MGTOW 101 or Sandman, and they do provide good information. And it's quite deep. It goes all the way down, actually. But it's the practical thing.
Actually, I'm now into more turd flinging monkey because like it's just pure comedy gold, yet insane. It's just the perfect blend. It's like Rick and Morty, but actually smart.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my god. Hey,
Yeah.
hey
I have an
guys.
IQ of 200.
Yeah, hey, guys. Did you just hear? This is actually pretty recent, like less than 12 hours ago. This woman who was punched after calling out a man for manspreading on a New York subway. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Yeah, I saw something.
Yeah, she was. No. Let me see if I can share this. Like turn on the screen share thingy. Yeah, let's see if I can show it to you guys. All right, hold on. Let me check it. Okay. All right. Can you guys see it? I'm not sure if you can see it. Let's see if I can pull it up. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. So let's
Yep.
see over here.
Got it.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna work on my laptop. Yeah, see, it's very sensitive. Got a heckin' touchpad. I'll have to read this thing off from an iPad. But whatever. It says that Tamsay 37 received racist and sexist comments since she came forward about an attack on social media on Thursday. Wait, so this whole idea, like, why would you? I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on feminists complaining about manspreading? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
It's ridiculous. He was apparently crushing her against the wall. Well, why wouldn't she get up and move? Obviously, he was fat, right? And he needs 2 seats.
Gosh dang it, I'm going on for a midnight snack.
So I can't, that he punched her is probably not good.
Why?
But if she was uncomfortable there, then she should respect the man and move away. If it was some woman brushing up against me, well, obviously she can't help herself, so I would move. Why would I complain? She can't help herself.
Right.
He can't help himself. So just,
Yeah, right.
I think somebody's got to mute Rick. We hear his food making.
Here, I won't mute him. I'll just turn the volume down. I don't really like unless somebody's like acting up. I don't mute people.
Oh no, just mute him until he comes back in. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I think it's this man spreading is just disrespect. Okay, a woman has a bag on the seat. You can ask her to move it, and she'll put it on the floor. So
right.
If the man is taking up a seat and a half, well, that's what he's doing.
True. Yeah, and the thing is that a lot of the pictures that actually show people who are manspreading, a lot of these pictures, I'm pretty sure these are like made up pictures or people just trolling people. But a lot of the times, usually it's a popular people. I can't exactly recall the exact instance of which it happened, but it was this one guy. He was some sort of a celebrity, and he was doing the worst sin of all mankind, manspreading. but when you look at it, a lot of these pictures of people manspreading, they're actually in empty, or near empty subway cars or on a near empty bus, and we have these people or these women complaining about people manspreading. That's absolutely ridiculous. Know what I mean? I'm looking at it right here. Oh, crap. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, it is pretty. Do you know why though? Why would they actually complain about this whole manspreading or mansplaining thing? Like, what's the whole point of complaining about this? It doesn't make sense. I mean, sure, they're taking up space, but to if you ask me, I don't think it has to do honestly with people taking up space. Okay, because this whole manspreading thing being attached to mansplaining and all that stuff, and especially when the people who are saying this are feminists, what the reputation they have. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not about them taking up space. So what's the true motive between them doing this or complaining about this?
Yeah, to make another issue to attack men.
Yeah.
So Oh.
Yeah, this guy Derek. I'm not sure how to say it. This is Derek Smith. He's 56 years old. He was arrested on Saturday and charged the next day for assault, menacing, and harassment. Yeah, definitely the assault. I mean, she called him manspread. Said he was manspreading. That's obviously wrong, but there's absolutely no reason for that guy to. I think he punched or hit her or something like that. I don't know what he did. Something along the means of that. Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at the picture on my iPad right now, and she has like a big bruise on her lips. Like, she called him out for that, and that doesn't make any sense. But regardless of that, there was no reason for him to do that. Now, assault, but menacing and harassment, I'm not so sure about that. Like, I'm not sure what he did to harass her, to menace her. Not sure about that. Yeah, okay, this is actually something very interesting. I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on this. So in the future, it's kind of obvious that these things are going to get worse, and it may be these little petty things like manspreading or mansplaining. It's going to cause unnecessary problems. As you know, we live in a world where we have more things to focus on than a guy explaining things in what appears to be a condescending manner, or somebody who is just spreading their legs, what appears to be manspreading. We have a lot more things to focus on than little petty things like that. And of course, people are going to complain about them. And these types of instances, like the one that you guys see right here, right now, they're going to become more common. So, what is going to happen in the future, and what's our response going to be to that? Are you there?
Yeah, that's the insanity part is sort of interesting. Why would people go insane and gouge other people's eyes out?
Yeah, I don't know.
No. As it gets along, like, way worse.
Yeah.
If some woman that wants attention falsely accuses me of doing anything, and ruins my career, my education, everything, she's gonna lose an eye.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yes, it's getting to the point where
eye for an eye, okay?
an eye for an eye. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely does bring it to a whole new reality. Yeah, Rick, I can definitely agree with you on that. I mean, was punching her necessary? No, but yeah, she definitely could have ruined his job by calling him out like that. Yeah.
This is what we need. We need the thought slayers.
Like, yeah, we need more people like you. Yeah.
We need Dio. We need Dio, the thought slayer.
Who is Dio the Thought Slayer?
He's a character from an anime.
Oh,
you know JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, like Dio?
Yeah, no, I missed it. Sorry.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, there's this anime villain named Dio. He doesn't really respect women, and he actually exposed a thought, I'm pretty sure, once, and that's how he got the name Thought Slayer Dio.
Oh, yeah, okay. Interesting. So, yeah, this anime character seems to be a archetype of the community they put into the anime to help people explain certain situations. Art mirrors life, and life mirrors art in both directions. And so the Thought Slayer, I like that. And so
I'm a Thought Slayer.
Guy, there's certain rules on this street. If someone comes up and hassles you on the street, then you can react by just walking away. You say they're insane, and you walk away. But in an elevator, if someone is hassling you, then they open themselves up to, they won't stop hassling you, to eventually you lose it because you're in an elevator. If you ask them politely to be quiet, they won't. They keep on hassling you. Eventually you may wind up hitting them. So they pushed your buttons so far that you wound up hitting them.
Actually,
in a subway, you're in the same situation as an elevator. So, maybe this woman.
wait. The way I would do with that situation, I would tell the person who is trying to hassle me, "Hey, you might want to quit talking since we're like in an enclosed space and I can't really leave.
Right.
So how about you don't bother me, I don't bother you. Deal?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So that might be a reasonable first step to take for this woman who was complaining about the mansplaining. Because, if you do it in an enclosed
I'd
space.
actually go as far as to pay them like $10. Just to be nice. Just to be nice. But when you push my buttons, oh god, you don't want to see me.
Right. Yeah, and
we want to maintain control. I don't know whether it's going to be beneficial for this 56-year-old man to go to court over this affair. I don't know whether that's going to provide value to him or to anyone else. And so you don't want to, put yourself in a situation that you get no value from it. It might have been better just to walk away and leave this, woman who's rude and disrespectful alone in the car. But maybe he doesn't want to back down this time. I don't know. They want men to back down, and at some point men are not going to. And is this man one of the first men not to back down? And what's he going to say in court? And what's the judge going to say? And does he get a jury trial? And what's the jury going to say about this man being accosted verbally in an enclosed area?
Right.
So if he has a jury and a good lawyer, then the jury may feel that men should not be accosted by people in enclosed spaces, and that if this woman had some problem with this man's actions, she should have contacted the conductor of the train and had the conductor, who's responsible for behavior in this enclosed area, come and deal with it. So, was she acting inappropriately? I'm not sure. Was he acting inappropriately and venting this anger through a physical assault in an enclosed area? I'm not sure. So these are questions that can be asked.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, by the way, where did Rick go? I think he left. Yeah, I think he's gone.
He's still up in the mountains, and his internet got cut off.
Oh, he's still there? Oh, I thought he.
No, he's gone. But he's gone. I was just making a joke that his internet connection wasn't good.
I got you. Yeah, the whole thing about this, I don't know, whatever it may be, these little petty things, in my opinion, mansplaining. I was also looking at catcalling and all that stuff. Look, catcalling and all that stuff, it's impolite, it's rude. I don't think anybody should do it to begin with. It's just straight out rude. But if we're creating, if we're actually turning people as this into an actual problem, it's just going to make life more complicated. Don't you agree? I mean, things are already complicated as they are. And with the way that the world is, if you're going to be overcomplicating simple things like that, it's just going to make things really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. And so this is, you can't even go out on the street and sit down without someone attacking you. Why make these complications? People are different. People have different needs, and people are either polite or impolite. If you don't like it, you can move. Right.
And also, there is this whole thing, basically. It was like on, Rick's back, by the way. Rick, I also want to hear, Misanthropic Altruist. I'm not sure if he's still here, but he's been quiet for a while. But anyways, this whole gender thing, it's been going on for almost 2 years or maybe even more.
I'm a Decepticon.
What's the whole thing with the whole... I'm honestly confused now. Okay, what's the whole deal with gender? Like, I mean, like some people say there are only two genders, but some are also saying that there is a difference between biological
They're trying
sex
to free
and
themselves of their biological imperatives, okay? They're trying to transcend biology.
Okay. Oh God, what kind of secret's that?
And also the need to cook for their husbands. Yeah, that's their only biological job.
Wow, cool secret. All right, yeah.
Actually,
Nope.
my mom fucking hates me now because like I was talking too loud. Okay.
Yeah, all right, I got you. All right, try not to talk too loud.
No, not you. I.
All right, see you.
What do you mean? What are we,
Wait,
conjoined Siamese twins?
Yeah, honestly, I need to turn the volume up. I can't really hear that much. All right, sorry.
You like now, Miss Krabs?
Yeah, I like it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Mr. Krabs. Hell yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs.
Oh yeah. That's correct. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the live chat, Michael says so many little problems add up to one giant problems. Yeah, that's definitely something that we face.
You see, men need to man the fuck up. Okay, that's all. That's what we need to do. Either we import more Muslims to bring Sharia law and convert them to Islam, or we just take women's rights away. That's all. Either turn into Sharia law or take women's rights away.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna happen eventually.
Either way, I'll win since I'll be still selling whores. Okay.
Still be selling whores. Yeah. Nope.
Especially in the apocalypse.
Whores already sell themselves. That's called prostitution.
Oh, then it'll be slavery.
Yeah, that's slavery. You're not selling whores. You're just being a slave master right there. Whores already sell themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for the chat. We'll talk later, okay?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, make some values. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, Rick's just you and me now. Like you're at your hotel, right?
Dude, we left the hotel already.
Wait, where are you right now? You're back home, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Alan, the man says he says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
A lot of things.
Yeah, is it like nighttime or something, and like you don't want nobody here? Is that it?
Yes. Especially I don't want to tell anyone I have nipple clamps. I'll give you some nipple clamps, boy. Don't make me eat your ass, boy.
Oh, well, okay. Well, so you actually have 8 people watching right now. What you want to talk about?
Maybe the apocalypse or the philosophical side of MGTOW. Either one.
Philosophical side of MGTOW. I'd like to talk about that first. Right. Just set up. 1 second. Hey, by the way, what time is it for you guys over there? You there? Hey, Rick, you there? Rick. There? Yeah, right. All right, you there? Yeah, I was just looking up this stuff about basically like teen MGTOWs and all that stuff. I was just looking at them. Other. I guess I'm not sure about these guys themselves as teens, but let's see. I'm just basically skimming through these articles right here. Oh, I guess this guy is one himself. Yeah.
Oh wait, wait. How about we go on about how MGTOW is inherently more tied to the meaning of life. It's self-actualization. It's defining your own meaning.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You know, the thing that a lot of people confuse about the MGTOW philosophy itself is that it's not, you see a lot of channels and they're always talking about different topics, whether it be female nature, female manipulation, the problems that we face. No, that's not what it's about. We're here to expose to you guys the truth. Yeah, like Michael said in the live chat, it's about self-actualization. It's about learning who you are. And remember, it's going.
Wait. I'll give you the steps to it. Here's what I've learned. Okay. To me, life is. Let's go to it from the beginning. There are many people who are like, there's like a spectrum on the meaning of life, correct? There's like where you fall on a spectrum, nihilism or whatever. MGTOW is more existential. We choose our own meaning. Existentialism is choosing your own meaning. It's not being nihilism where we don't choose our meaning. We're like, hey, there's no meaning,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you got to keep in mind as well that the MGTOW philosophy, it's not about coming here, I guess, to complain about what other women are doing. It's here to realize that, hey, look, cohabitation with women is not safe anymore. It's not, and it's
not only about that. It's not only about that. It's about yourself. It's about.
Why is this guy whispering?
Wait, what happened?
This guy, he's whispering. I want to know why.
Wait, who's that?
It's Muscle Man. It's your boy, Muscle Man. I'm new here.
Hello, Muscle Man. I don't think we've ever met before, have we?
No, I've been so hard until your eyeball pops out.
I've been with Angry. I think I've been with Angry. I've been with Howard Dare. And
I've been with Howard Dare too. I've been with Howard Dare.
Is there any news on like the MGTOW is Freedom front?
I think he stopped. I haven't seen any new notifications.
No, they took down his channel. They took his channel down.
I know, but like, did they? I don't know. Did he? Any news from him personally? Like, is he gonna go to another platform or what have you?
Oh no. We're just we haven't really looked too much into MGTOW's Freedom. I like that guy. That's how I got into MGTOW Apocalypse and stuff. Also, the reason why I'm not speaking is because my mother will fucking slap me. Okay.
Your mother won't suck you? What?
No, slap if I talk too loud.
She'll what kind of house is she, like Mexican or something?
Wait, did he go to Patreon? Michael says that I heard he went to Patreon, right? Did he go to Patreon?
I think I don't know. Might have taken that down too, I hear. Here, let me Google this thing.
MGTOW is freedom. I'm not seeing anything about MGTOW is free. I'm seeing MGTOW money, MGTOW bliss, anything MGTOW expat, MGTOW philosopher. I'm not seeing anything about MGTOW's freedom. Let's talk.
Okay, let me lead the conversation in this. Okay.
There's been activity on his other channel though, his like Prepared Mind channel.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing. Let's go on. Let me talk. Some people are too lazy to choose their own meaning. They will want a template to work on. They will want an example, then build on that example.
Mm-hmm.
This is where religion comes in, cults come in, tribes come in, governments, politics.
Hey guys, look at this. His account was terminated for violating YouTube community guidelines.
I need to Google these community guidelines because they're fucking gonna be.
No, the community guidelines have been designed so that YouTube channels that don't fit within YouTube's feminist, liberal agenda-ish thingies.
I know. I just want to know like what specific bullshit they're. Oh, okay. They're really vague.
Or speaking to women that are not positive.
Copyright.
It's mostly. It's mostly of things like considered, I guess you call it hate speech or whatever you want to say.
Hateful content.
Yeah, hateful content when it's really the truth.
Harmful or nudity or sexual.
Yeah, people need
Leafy's hair is more hateful than MGTOW. Leafy is more hateful.
Mm-hmm. Who is?
Leafy is here. I swear to God, how is he not off yet?
He's kind of political too. He gives feminism a lot of shit. Often. Or random feminist, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so Muscle Man, give me some background on who you are and what you do. Just want to get to know you.
I am a video gamer. I do really nothing with my day but go to school and come back. I live in Oregon. Almost 18. Gonna turn 18 in 22nd of this month. And
right.
Still gonna be in school though, and I'll probably graduate soon enough, and then hopefully I'm going to become a lineman and get into the trades via apprenticeship. And go the way of MGTOW.
All right, and you're obviously a MGTOW too, I guess, right?
Oh, of course, I'm a MGTOW.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Gotta figure that out.
Don't be a cuck. Don't be a cuck. Okay, don't be a cuck.
It's hard to explain, so I can't recruit people very easily. I'm gonna try to explain it.
You have to do it philosophically. Give them the philosophical perspective. Own your own life. Don't allow others like cults to take it away from you. Try to use the cult example. Don't be a Scientologist because they will take away your meaning of life and use it as your own. You know?
Yeah.
They will use you. This is why you need to live for yourself. Choose your own meaning. Oh shoot. I'm gonna mute you. Muscle. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh heck. Wait, why did Muscle Man get muted?
Is it good now?
Yeah. Oh, that's
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I restarted the power cord and it's kind of a little fritzy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's use the example of the cult of Scientology.
What do they measure when you go in anyway? Like energons or something? Alien sperm?
I don't know, but here's the thing. They will try to use it all. Follow this whole life meaning, and they will benefit, and you won't. You're gonna be hurt from that. Their interests aren't yours, so you should take ownership of your life and live for yourself. You see, this is why cults are bad. They will try to use your whole life meaning and use it against you. Use it for their own agenda.
Yeah, true. All right, so Muscle Man, you have any like personal experiences to share?
Oh god, I have tons.
Are you asked? I eat ass. How about you?
What? You eat ass?
Ass. Yeah.
What? Are you saying that you eat ass? Is that what you're into?
Hell yeah, boy. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I bet you go dirty, don't you? You fucking disgusting 14-year-old slob. You should. Oh, God.
How about you? Let me eat your ass too. I go both ways, boy.
I can't understand him at all. My personal experiences, however, actually just yesterday, my mom asked me to go to the store with her, or wherever, I guess it was downtown, because she wants someone to give her attention when she drops off her terrible daughter. And because, I got my own shit to do. And she got all butthurt about it. And all I did was just say, no, I don't want to go. And she made it a whole thing. And then she ended up turning off the internet for like 2 days.
Well, heck.
And first time I see her the next day, or after that whole episode, she's perfectly fine. And I'm just sitting there being like, I wish I could have stabbed you in your sleep, bitch.
Well,
I mean, I don't really have a relationship with her regardless because I barely know her, but it's just women are just stupid. I don't know how else to say it. They're just dumb. I don't think they see what they do, or they think they're justified by it in their weird alien sense.
Yeah.
I think she's single too, and all of her children hate her. Her first son's like a state certified genius. In university, and the other one's a druggie, and then I'm number 3.
You better start calling me your stepdad now, boy.
How about you get that dick out of your mouth so I can hear you properly?
Oh god. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyways, in the live chat, actually, Michael he said to carve your own path, not following the path given to you by society. That's absolutely true. And Muslim, I want to ask you this as a personal question. So you said right now you're 17, turning 18. I believe you said it's on the 22nd. So have you ever gotten any pressure from family members or anything about dating or marriage or any of that kind of crap?
My mom always told me to buy her flowers and all that stuff. And my dad kind of got pissy about it and was like, yeah, don't ever get married and you'll end up paying 18 years of child support. Well,
yeah. Is your dad divorced or something?
Oh yeah, there's actually my mom had 2 husbands. I have 2 half brothers that both hate me. And then I have a sister who hates me too. My whole family is just a complete disaster. I don't know how
you just plan to plan to just kind of separate yourself from them when you get the chance to?
Honestly, dude, I come home and I literally don't leave my room except to go to the bathroom or to get food.
Yeah, that's how I live my life, kind of too. I mean, I don't have any problems with my family. It's just easier, I guess. You know what I mean?
I mean, once I move out, I'll be a lot more.
I took it to the next level. My bedroom has a bathroom.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, you're too fucking lucky. Having a bathroom in your own bedroom.
Yeah, and I quit women after my first girlfriend. I went MGTOW after my first girlfriend.
I don't even need a girlfriend to tell me that they're dumb or not worth the time. I've never had any relationship with women. Women have hit on me, and I've just said, yeah, no. Because they're gross and I only get the ugly ones, dude. It's not fair.
Yeah, I say that. Hey, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. I've never gone after a girl seriously because it's too much for me. They're too much.
Yeah. Well, let me put it into your perspective this way. What is the benefit of seeking another woman's validation or another woman's attention? What's the benefit or what's the purpose of it?
There's no benefit to it other than
exactly
pursuit of love. If you get love out of it,
hey, I got my right hand and I have access to the internet. I have my right hand to the internet. I don't need no pussy.
I mean,
All right.
I have.
No. It's for Trump. It's for Trump.
Grab her by
It's
the
for Trump.
pussy.
Yeah, do it. Grab.
Trump. God, he's so fucking stupid and hilarious to watch. He does so much stupid shit. So fucking funny. I like that
He's basically being a comedian as a president. I love it.
Did you hear about Han Astley or whatever posting that picture of like Trump tossing Boss McMahon in the face, but he edited it so that Boss McMahon's face was like CNN.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, and CNN like did a whole witch hunt for him, and all this like shady shit went down. Some people did some digging into it. I don't know if MGTOW did though. I don't think it was very big here in our movement.
Like MGTOWs didn't really care that much about politics, and when you look at it from the broader perspective, I'm not sure if you guys ever took the time to like look into it. But if you look into okay, so as far as my opinion on like politics goes, especially with like U.S. presidents and Trump goes, like I don't know how to explain it. I don't really care that much about what goes on about politics anymore. You've got to realize that whatever goes on in the Trump administration isn't controlled by Trump. Really, like look into Zionism, all that mixed up stuff, and like how the Rothschild family and whatnot, they're controlling him. I mean, really, he is a Zionist puppet and all that. You gotta look into it. Just look into it. Maybe I might hold like a live stream on a separate occasion, just talking about this whole Rothschild family and the hell that they've unleashed onto this planet. Really, I mean, the stuff he's doing, he has really no entire control over, because it's either you follow their agenda or it's lights out for you. Abraham Lincoln, he tried to do his own thing. Look at what happened. He's dead. He's been assassinated. John F. Kennedy, he tried to do his own thing. He didn't try to bypass the Rothschild family agenda. Dead and assassinated. That's what happens. That's what happens.
I just like when it comes down to it, I'll probably just end up voting Republican for the rest of the years because they're not up my ass all the goddamn time about every little fucking thing.
Yeah, my views are more conservatively aligned than liberally aligned, but regardless of that, it doesn't matter who wins in the long run because both are controlled by the same party. You gotta realize that.
For certain things, I am far right. For certain things, I am left. I don't even know what I am anymore.
Myself leftist about is like the possibility of the Earth. They actually like take the Earth into consideration.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's all bullshit, which it could very well be, which I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. But you still gotta put land somewhere. We can't just build fucking cities all the time and have nothing but cities.
Yep.
Unless, of course, we make them like garden cities. I saw a video the other day about whatever that these people they put gardens on top of urban like buildings, and that's just what they do, and they grow stuff there.
Oh, wait, guys, the whole validation thing. Let's do it. Do something on that. Let me say a summary on that. A MGTOW will self-validate himself. He only needs his own validation because he knows he is somewhat superior to others.
Yeah, what's that sound in the background?
Is it me?
That's actually my voice.
Oh. Adjusted your audio level.
That's my voice.
I don't hear anything. I think it's just for you.
Oh, that's me. Oh, okay, my bad. I just realized that. My bad. I had a window open. Oh, man, I'm an idiot. I thought I was one of you guys.
I did that, like, right when I joined, too.
I'm an idiot. That was me. Yeah, Michael says in the live chat, voting is a distraction. By giving people the illusion that we have control, voting either way leads to the same result. It's pre-planned. That's why the media was all rooting for Hillary and saying that she has a 95% chance of winning. Yeah, you gotta realize that
winning the losing game, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the president is Democrat, or they're Democratic or not the Democratic,
Republican.
liberal views. Yeah, they're Democratic or Republican. That doesn't really matter. They're still going to follow the agenda. Obama did it. Trump is doing it. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter who.
I wish we could like go back to like the ancient Roman Empire where just everyone didn't give a fuck about anything and we all had slaves. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Slavery gets such a bad rap here. Like the black slaves, when you take a look at it, they had fucking great lives. Oh my god, they were treated wonderfully. Like I remember, who was it? I don't know if it was Philosopher who did a video on it, or no, I think it was Sandman.
Wait. The slave morality of Nietzsche and master morality of Nietzsche, you know? Okay, the slave morality is more liberal. Well, okay, slave morality, they do good because they think everyone is equal and they deserve equal as they themselves.
Equal can be defined by so many different things, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to slap your bitch ass?
I mean, do you want me to drive down to you and fucking just give you a swirly or something? How old are you?
I'll curb stop your ass. I'll fucking do it to drive by.
I'll unleash that cat picture. I'll unleash that thing on you.
I'll send you to the Shadow Realm.
Fucking Shadow Realm. I'll become your new dad. I'll become your stepdad. And make you call me Uncle Bad Touch.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
What was I saying before I was rudely interrupted by this scrub? Oh, right. That black slaves, Sandman did a video, I think it was Sandman, about the plantation, and he when he was, I don't know, learning about the plantation, he saw like where black slaves lived, and he thought they were actually pretty nice places, like they're like the average size apartment right about now, too. So, I mean, when you take things into account, the black slaves, they good when you take the whole of slavery into account.
Here's the thing. At least allow them to make some money for, like, working for others if the master allows that.
Right, that's why I like Rome, because Rome kind of makes like an industry out of it, you know? They like allow slaves to earn and get treated as, you know, a person-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not the white slavery, Roman slavery.
Roman slavery was great. I mean, like, their fucking government ran for thousands of years, undefeated, essentially, before it all collapsed, because some dickhead Roman emperor decides to let his son rule everything and fucked it all up.
Yeah. Hey guys, listen. Not sure about what time it is where you live, but so right now it's 2:15 in the morning. I just got back like yesterday-ish from Daytona Beach. It was like a really exhausting drive, and we're about to go on another 4 to 5 hour drive. Like what?
Why are you traveling so
much? Daytona Beach was just for like vacation. Next, we got to go to a city to clean up our old house because we've moved. We just have like some stuff we gotta bring on over here. Stuff.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's been I mean, I like traveling. Don't get me wrong, but I just need to sleep. That's all I'm trying to say here. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut the stream. Guys, have anything you want to say before I cut it?
I want all those. How many people are watching in the chat right now? Like how many?
Kill yourself.
5 people. It's actually 4 minus me. Kill yourself.
For all those 4 people, I want you to know that this fucking 14-year-old guy, I guarantee you I'll be a stepdad by the end of the fucking week.
All right then. Whatever you say. All right, everybody.
You're not Tyrone.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, everybody. Thank you all for getting the opportunity to stop by. I might be having another live stream this Friday, and other than that, I wish you guys a very good night.